Stand by, all cameras.
Ready with slow motion and isolated cameras.
Stand by, videotape, and roll tape.
And tape is rolling in less than 5, in 3, 2, 1.
Take tape.
From Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, two powers in professional football meet for the first time ever as members of the new American Football Conference of the National Football League. The New York Jets, led by the passing wizardry of Joe Namath, and the Cleveland Browns, led by the power running of Leroy Kelly. This ABC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Marlboro Filter Cigarettes. Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro Country. By Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to come in and test drive the 1971 Fords, the cars with the better ideas. And by Goodyear, the only makers of long-wearing polyglass tires.
It is a hot, sultry, almost windless night here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, where the Browns will play host to the New York Jets. And here at midfield on the gridiron itself, as we await the opening kickoff, we will see two teams, two of the outstanding teams in professional football. Each accorded a chance to reach the Super Bowl, each an Eastern Division champion in its respective league a year ago. Good evening, everyone. I'm Howard. Welcome to ABC's Monday night primetime National Football League television series. As you already know, each team has a superstar. The extraordinary running back, number 44, Leroy Kelly of the Browns. The premier quarterback, number 12, Joe Willie Namath of the Jets. And with us right now at midfield are, first to my right, middle linebacker, defensive captain of the New York Jets, number 62, Al Atkinson. And to my left, and both men are understandably tight and nervous at this moment, for the quarterback already alluded to, number 12, Broadway Joe Namath. Quickly, first to you, Al. You said you wanted to tell the people something.
Well, the only thing I want to tell the people is that I'm glad that Joe Willie's back with us. And our only purpose right now is to go ahead and win all the games and be in that Super Bowl and win it in January.
Good luck to you, Al, and thank you for stopping by. Now let's move over to Joe Willie Namath. And Joe, you've only had 6 quarters of preseason action this year. I suppose you're far from happy with your timing.
Well, the timing has come along pretty good, Howard, over the last couple of weeks. Naturally, it wasn't there last week and the week before, but I think right now at this stage we're ready.
Of course, Weeb Eubank has characterized this Jets team, Joe, as superior even to the Super Bowl champions of January 12, 1969. Do you agree?
No, I don't, but I hope Weeb's right. At this stage, it's too difficult to tell. I'm not trying to argue with Weeb. Like I said, I hope he's right, but the 68 team proved itself, and the 70 team has to prove itself before I believe.
Final question, Joe, from the films you've studied, your evaluation of the Browns as an opponent.
Well, naturally, they've been one of the most consistent teams in the NFL over the years. They're a very difficult football team to run on at times, but we kind of think we can beat them tonight. They run a lot of zone coverage. They don't like to give up the big play, the long touchdown pass, and we'll see what we can do about it, you know?
You'll test them anyway with Maynard a few times, I'm sure.
Maynard or Castor or Sauer or Bell. We'll try it.
Good luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Howard.
Joe Willie Namath. And now I'd like you to meet the man who'll be doing the play-by-play in our Monday night series. Crisp, knowledgeable, authoritative, a veteran at his trade, Keith Jackson. And Keith, I take it you'll be pointing up some of the rookies who'll be performing here tonight.
Well, Howard, we sure have a lot of them in professional football this year. You know, when the final rosters were submitted on this first weekend of action for the National Football League, there were 181 rookies, 97 of them in the American Football Conference. And we're going to see 3 rookies start here tonight. The Cleveland Browns will start at defensive tackle, a rookie from Oklahoma State, Jerry Shirk. The New York Jets are going to start 3 rookies, if you can believe that, 3 of them. Defensive end Mark Lomas of Northern Arizona, and the 2 cornerbacks will both be rookies, Early Thomas of Colorado State and Steve Tannen of Florida. So we should have a lot of fun tonight watching these kids get their first taste of real professional football action.
Thank you, Keith. And, of course, there is another member of our broadcast team. He is, you understand, our Monday evening quarterback. Once he was a Sunday afternoon quarterback in professional football. He proved his courage every single Sunday, indomitable in his purpose, the determination grim, wearing the uniform of the Dallas Cowboys, number 17. We want you to see him, Don Meredith, as he used to be.
Now for the reset! The left back! Hut!
We're going to do that.
Dandy Don Meredith, how does it feel to review the glories of yesteryear?
How do you know y'all were going to do that? Nobody told me that. I was all set to tell you about these 2 quarterbacks that were going to... I'm going to do it anyway. I want to tell you about Bill Nelson with the Browns and Joe Namath with the New York Jets. In my opinion, they're both leaders, but they do lead in a different way. Bill Nelson is the consistent leader of the Cleveland Browns, who have been known in the past 2 decades as probably the most consistent football team in football. He utilizes a fine running game with more than an adequate core of receivers. On Joe Namath's side, you've got a fella who can do things which his team feels no one but Joe Willie can do. And you know what? It might be interesting to think, I don't think Nelson could do quite as good a job with the Jets as he is with the Browns, nor do I think Namath could do quite as good a job with the Browns as he can with the Jets. So aren't we lucky? The Browns have got Nelson and the Jets have got Namath. Let's watch them.
That will do exactly that, Dandy Don. And, of course, pregame activities are over here in Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this message.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I
Len Dawson.
I, Joe Cap.
have switched to Gillette Platinum Plus blades.
Have switched to Gillette Platinum Plus blades.
Because they shave closer and with more comfort.
Well, I can only speak for Gillette Platinum Plus injector blades.
That's true for double edge, too. Take my word for it.
Why should I?
Hey, come on, guys.
Gillette Platinum Plus. Harder than stainless, more durable than chrome. For the shave you've always wanted, and more.
I'm right.
I'm right.
You're both right?
Right.
Flying to Hawaii on United 747 can be a real adventure. We call our 747 the Friendship because it was designed for your extra comfort. We made the Friendship roomier by putting the kitchens downstairs, out of the living room, with only serving areas upstairs. That gives you more leg room in coach. And we have specially trained people who make our Royal Hawaiian service really special. And 5 big movie theaters. And a high-class red carpet room upstairs. Whatever your pleasure, you'll find it on United 747, our friendship to Hawaii, from the people who brought you the friendly skies.
Fly the friendly skies of United.
You can fly United 747, the friendship to Hawaii from Los Angeles and San Francisco.
The New York Jets, Joe Namath and Al Atkinson standing there, wearing the green tonight on the road at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The home team, the Cleveland Browns, will be wearing white. We're going to play this football game tonight to open the season for both these 2 fine teams on real grass. The co-captains, Leroy Kelly of the Cleveland Browns and Jim Houston, middle linebacker, go to the center of the field with the referee Norm Schechter, Joe Namath, and Al Atkinson, the offensive and defensive captains, coming to the center of the field for the Jets. The indication of which team had won the toss a half an hour ago. And the New York Jets will be receiving. The Cleveland Browns will be kicking off. And these 2 teams, as Howard Cosell noted for you at the outset, each of them considered prime material for the Super Bowl, each of them having fine football teams. The Jets in the Eastern Division of the American Football Conference, the Cleveland Browns in the Central Division of the American Football Conference. Going deep for the New York Jets. Number 40 is Mike Battle. And number 37 is George Knox. They are the receivers. Teeing it up to kick it off for the white-clad Cleveland Browns is Don Cockcroft, who does both the place kicking and the punting. And he is one of the few gentlemen still in the game who do both. The crowd expected to be in excess of 80,000. They're still coming in, and I think they will go past the 80,000 mark. And this game is underway on ABC. Cockcroft knocks it to Battle at the 5-yard line. Mike Battle getting some fine blocking, wedged it out at the 25 and then broke it up to the 34-yard line before Freddie Summers came in to make the tackle for the Cleveland Browns. And now let's check the Jets offensively for you. At quarterback will be number 12. That is Joe Namath. The setbacks will be Emerson Boozer, number 32, and Matt Snell, number 41. The wide receivers, Don Maynard, number 13, and George Sauer, 83. The center is number 52, John Schmidt. And here is the first play of the ball game at the 34-yard line, Jets 1st and 10.
Come on, D, let's go!
Matt Snell. He's at the 36 for 2 yards, 2nd down and 8 coming up, brought down by the left linebacker for Cleveland, number 50, John Garlington. Let's check the Jets' offensive line. On the left side for the Jets will be number 75, Winston Hill, Randy Rasmussen, number 66 at guard, Dave Herman, number 67 on the right side of center, and Roger Finney, number 61 at right tackle. George Sauer is wide to the left, and Don Maynard wide to the right. Snell and Boozer set. This time it's Emerson Boozer. He's across the 40. He's at the 41-yard line. This series started on the 34. They've now picked up about 7 yards. 3rd down and 3 coming up. Walter Johnson and John Garlington making the tackle for the Cleveland Browns. Along the front for the defensive Browns, number 72 is the rookie Jerry Shirk of Oklahoma State. 71 is Walter Johnson. The defensive ends are Ron Snido, number 88, and Jack Gregory, number 81 on the right side. 3rd down and about 3 for the New York Jets in the first offensive series of the game. Namath to throw. Swings it to Snell, and he dropped it. It was a forward pass, incomplete. The Jets will have 4th and 3 coming up. So the Cleveland defense holds in the first defensive series. Walt Sumner, number 29, is dropping back. And joining him is Leroy Kelly, number 44. Steve O'Neill, who averaged better than 44 yards a kick, back in punt formation for the Jets. And whistle stop it before they get the snap of the ball away. The Jets are assessed 5 yards for illegal procedure. So that moves Steve O'Neill back to the 20, where he'll hit the punt from about the 25 as he strides into it. A single-man rush. The kick is away, not too deep. Hits for the sideline, hits on the chalk, and it is out of bounds in the vicinity of the 30-yard line. Not a typical Steve O'Neill punt. And so the Cleveland Browns will get the football for the first time, see what they can do with it behind quarterback Bill Nelson. The setbacks will be, and now they're coming back upfield on the penalty flag thrown on the far side. A penalty against the New York Jets. Illegal touching of the punt, or the kickball by the New York Jets. So the Browns get good field position, first down and 10 from the 45. Nelson, the quarterback, with Leroy Kelly, 44, and Bo Scott, 35, set behind him. Gary Collins wide to the right. Nelson back to throw. Goes over the middle to tight end Milt Morin, number 89. And he is in New York territory, brought down at the 44-yard line, and W.K. Hicks comes out of the secondary to make the tackle. Now, we made the point earlier that we're going to see a lot of rookies playing football tonight. Remember, both cornerbacks for the New York Jets are rookies. Steve Tannen, number 21, and Earlie Thomas, number 45, and there is Weave Eubank, the head man of the New York Jets. Gary Collins, number 86, wide receiver to the right side. Fair Hooker, number 43, wide to the left. This time the ball is given to the fullback, Bo Scott, by Bill Nelson, and he is hit in the middle, hit hard by Mark Lomas, and coming from the middle linebacking position to help out Al Atkinson. So the Browns go to the air, get a first down. Now it'll be second down and about 10.
We should make the point, Keith, that number 89, Milton Morin, one of the better tight ends in pro football, will be one of Nelson's prime targets tonight. He's the primary responsibility of Jim Hudson, number 22, the strong safety. And Hudson comes off knee surgery. Nelson will want to test Hudson's knees.
The Browns shifting out of the I formation, the power I, sending Hooker wide to the left side. And they go to Kelly up the middle. And on the left side blocking of John DeMare. He found some daylight, and he takes the ball to the New York Jet 35-yard line before Verlin Biggs makes the tackle for the Jets. It'll be third down and about 3 yards to go for Cleveland at the New York 35. Along the line for the Browns, Dick Shafrath, number 70. Joe Tafoni, number 62, the offensive tackles. DeMare, 65, and Gene Hickerson, 66, the guards, and the center is Fred Hoagland. Bill Nelson is the quarterback. Third down and a long 3, and they go to Kelly, and he is close to the first down. First down, Cleveland, and listen to a crowd of more than 80,000 roar.
Bill Nelson told the three of us yesterday, you'll remember, that they were going to find out in a hurry if the Jets could really stop the run the way they're reputed to be able to do. He said, I don't see how, with our offensive guards and with Leroy Kelly running, they can stop us.
Along the defensive front for the Jets, it's Lomas and Biggs it in. Thompson and Elliott in the middle. Leroy Kelly, no daylight that time from the 31-yard line. There's the New York Jet bench.
Go, got that 11 now. Come on, baby, come on now, come on now. Second 11, early second 11.
Second down. And about 11 yards as Kelly lost a yard. Ball at the New York 31. Nelson to throw. Swings it out to Bo Scott, the fullback. A wall of blockers in front of him. He is at the 10-yard line before he is belted out of bounds. It was W.K. Hicks that saved the touchdown.
This is what you call doing one of the things that you do best. This is a quick screen out to Bo Scott, number 35. You'll see the entire offensive line of Cleveland out in front. I really don't see why it didn't go all the way. Grantham made a great move, number 60, to come in. Atkinson finally got over and stopped it. It's a beautifully moved, beautifully executed play.
21 yards on the play. Great block to lead it by Dick Shafrath. First down, Cleveland, New York, 10-yard line. The ball right on the 10. Scott and Kelly set behind Nelson. It is Scott, the fullback. He is at the 9. Verlin Biggs has him high. Steve Thompson has him low. Second down. Cleveland's ball. New York, 9-yard line. Second down, in effect, goal. It might be that they could possibly get a first down without scoring, but it would be so close it would hardly matter. Kelly at the 7. He is hit hard by Ralph Baker, number 51, linebacker. Into the ball game for the New York Jets. One of the fine tackles, one of the regulars along that front wall, and you want to watch number 80 tonight. He's a good one. John Elliott, not one of the biggest men along the defensive wall in pro football, but certainly one of the quickest. The ball is closer to the 8-yard line. It is third down. And goal to go for Cleveland. This time Collins and Hooker both go to the left side, the wide receivers. Nelson to throw. Throws for Collins, touchdown. And Collins beat Early Thomas for the touchdown.
Let's take a look at this touchdown pass. You'll see Fair Hooker running an out pattern, number 43. Slight confusion by the rookie Early Thomas. Collins made a great move in for the touchdown. He's made a lot of those.
And Don Cockcroft out of Mike Phipps' hole knocks the point straight through. And the Cleveland Browns go 55 yards in 9 plays to lead it. You're watching NFL Monday Night Football with timeout our score. Cleveland 7, the New York Jets nothing.
Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro country.
Let's take a look at this.
On the left side of your screen, number 37. That is George Knock. On the right, number 40, Mike Battle. The deep men for the New York Jets is Don Cockcroft. Number 12 kicks it off for the Cleveland Browns. The Browns lead 7-0, leading in the first quarter with 7:55 to go. It is Knock at the 5. And he is drilled at the 25. Let's take another look at the touchdown from the end zone.
This was... Hope we can get an opportunity to see a down and in, but you see Leroy Kelly, number 44, going to take Grantham with him. It's really a very simple down and in pattern. Collins coming in from the outside. Actually, there's just a little confusion in the defensive backs. It looked like Thomas ran in to W.K. Hicks as he was trying to come in and cover Gary Collins. You need all the help you can get when you cover Collins.
Back to live action now, and we have a penalty flag on the field. The Cleveland Browns, I believe, are going to be assessed 5 yards for offside. 7:47 remaining to play in the first quarter. The Browns have driven 55 yards in 9 plays for the go-ahead touchdown.
They made it look easy while they were doing it. A brilliantly directed drive, mixing up his plays by quarterback Bill Nelson. Namath gets all the publicity because he plays in New York about his damaged knees, but Nelson has had one more operation on his knees. His right knee is swollen. It was aspirated yesterday. He is truly an inspirational, I think, athlete.
From the 35-yard line, after the penalty, Cockcroft kicks it off. And he kicks it well. He kicks it deep. He kicks it to Knock at the 5. And George gets it back to about the 22. Fumble! New York keeps the ball.
So far, Keith, New York looks terribly tense and tight for a team that won a game in the Super Bowl. They haven't done anything right.
Pete Perrault was the man on the ball to keep possession. George Knock got off to a bad start. He dropped it originally and then had to hurry. And it's at the 22, first and 10 for the Jets. Namath, the quarterback, with Boozer, number 32, and Snell, number 41, set behind him. John Schmidt, the center. That is Matt Snell. Fine run and a great block on the left side by Winston Hill. Matt Snell brings it from the 22. He brings it all the way to the 35 for 13 yards and a first down. Walt Sumner and Mike Howell made the tackle in the secondary for the white-clad Cleveland Browns. That's George Sauer, number 83, coming straight at you. He'll go wide to the left side. Namath to throw. He whips it for Maynard. He's got it at the 49-yard line despite a great defensive play by Ernie Kellerman. Let's take another look at it with Don Meredith.
I hope we can get a shot of Namath going back and doing what he does best, and that's throwing the ball as well as anybody that's ever thrown it under a lot of pressure. If you can watch him get hit, and it was a good clean lick, but the ball was right in between the 1 and the 3.
14 yards on the pass play. New York first down, their own 49-yard line. Emerson Boozer, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Gregory submarining, going underneath the block of Dave Herman to get a hand on the foot, and there is no gain. Big Jim Houston, the middle linebacker, number 82. For the Cleveland Browns, playing at that position for the first time as he starts his 11th season. A veteran from Ohio State, Joe Namath, sets the Jets. Matt Snell in the middle, and Jerry Shirk, the rookie from Oklahoma State's got a piece of him just over the line of scrimmage. They may give his progress to midfield. Walter Johnson, number 71, also helping on the play. 1 yard, third down, 9 coming. And Howard Weeb looks nervous.
Only temporarily. They've been around a long time, and Walt Michaels, a former Brown star, now the Jets defensive coach, up here in the booth next to us, has been sending signals down. They know what's going on. This will be a good ball game.
Third down, 9, New York. Namath to throw. He loops it down for Sauer. It is incomplete. A leaping defensive play by Walt Sumner. And Joe again found the turf here at Municipal Stadium, but bounces right up. So on 3rd and 9, Joe misses, and it brings up a kicking down for the Jets. It'll be Steve O'Neill to kick for New York. Reese Morrison into the ball game as the deep man, along with Sumner, and Walt Sumner calls the fair catch at the 15 to 16-yard line. So with 4 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the first quarter, you're watching NFL Monday Night Football. With timeout, the score is Cleveland 7, New York nothing.
For 10 years, model motoring by Aurora has been as close to real racing as you can get. Except for one thing, headlights. The new day and night racing set by Aurora.
That gives the anchorman of the Hot Shots a final score of 125. Now it is all up to this battler, young Timmy Cole. Here's Timmy approaching the Skittle Bowl. He takes aim and... Oh, tough break. He's left with a tricky 3.57. He must get all 3 to win. He's made it! He's made it! The Tigers win the championship!
Skittle Bowl, the next best thing to having a bowling alley in your home.
Clanton Collier, the boss man of the Browns, pacing the sideline and talking to his players as they lead in the first quarter with 4 minutes and 37 seconds to play by a score of 7-0, having driven 55 yards in 9 plays for the go-ahead touchdown. And the Browns have the ball first and 10 at their own 16-yard line. And they're going to start it right about where second base is normally here at Municipal Stadium, with Leroy Kelly on a sweep. Kelly got a great block from Tafone to open it up for him.
You got an excellent view. Watch John DeMario, number 65. Bo Scott throws a good number 35. Throws a great block. Leroy Kelly on the Cleveland sweep. They just wiped him out. He made a great cut right here. Hit back in behind his guard. And everybody blocking for him. Good solid 9 yards.
Second down. And about 1.5 yards for the first down. As we look at Bill Nelson, number 16, quarterback for the Browns. Bill on second down and call it 2 to throw. Whips it out, incomplete. The pass intended for his fullback, Bo Scott, and Ralph Baker, number 51, the linebacker, right there defending for the Jets.
He threw that one a little bit wide. He had plenty of time to throw. Nelson's hit 3 out of 4 for 42 yards. And 1 wide one.
And I think you can tell by now that Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, during football season is a cacophony of sound.
What in the world is that?
I got that from Howard.
Between you and Howard, I'm not going to be able to understand anything you're saying.
They're down and 2 for the Browns from their 19. They've got to go right about the 21, the 26. From the 24-yard line, the ball is given away to Leroy Kelly, trying to go over the top to get the first down, and he may have. It'll be close. He had to go to the 26. They will measure. Along that offensive line, many tested veterans who make that Cleveland offense move. The guards and the tackles, Chaprath and Tafone, are the tackles, and the roar tells you, along with referee Norm Schachter's signal.
Now the Jets have to begin to get worried. They haven't been able to force Cleveland to turn over the football once. Not yet.
3 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. NFL Monday Night Football continues from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. With timeout, our score, Cleveland 7, the New York Jets, nothing.
With the world getting noisier and noisier, it's hard to find a nice quiet spot these days. And it's becoming harder. Even out here. Noise. There's no getting away from it, right? Wrong. Because while everything's getting noisier, Ford cars stay quiet. Why? Because quiet cars come from strong cars. And Fords are built strong. Result? The 1971 LTD is one of the quietest riding Fords ever. Take a quiet break in the 1971 Ford. Ford gives you better ideas.
One of the great veterans for the Cleveland Browns, number 86, Gary Collins of Maryland. Joe Namath of the New York Jets on the sidelines, watching the New York defensive unit as they try to dig in here and take that ball away from the Cleveland Browns as the Browns lead by a score of 7-0. Collins coming wide to the right, fair hooker. Fine youngster from Arizona State who has won the wide receiver job here at Cleveland. Leroy Kelly. He hits from the 26 out across the 30-yard line. Middle linebacker Al Atkinson made the defensive play for the Jets.
He's busting through there, Keith, and oddly, they have not been running at the rookie number 84, Mark Lomas. They've been going to the other side.
Here we'll take a double team on Elliott. You see number 77, Dick Shafrath. I don't think there's anybody in football that hits the hole any faster, any quicker than Leroy Kelly. And you get two men, as Elliott had on him, and I think he did a good job to hold him down to 4 yards.
2nd down and 6 for Cleveland at their own 31. Kelly on the sweep, Hickerson in front of him. Al Atkinson, the first man through, to lead the defensive play for the Jets. And that number 22 that came into your picture from his safety position, Jim Hudson, he has had so many knee operations, I don't think he remembers all of them.
Yeah, that's my partner, though, and I tell you what, he did a fine job of turning that thing back in. On a sweep, defensive back or a linebacker's main responsibility is turn the ball carrier back in, and that's what he did. And Atkinson did his job, too, by coming over to Phil to the outside.
Kelly lost a couple of yards back inside the 30 to the 29, where it is 3rd down and 8 for Cleveland. Nelson to throw. Looks for Collins. Pass is incomplete, a penalty flag down. Hudson was there, and Tannen was there, and Collins was there. And you see the indication. Pass interference, we'll look at it again.
A lot of times this will happen when a defensive back gets a little too aggressive. These guys are certainly aware of Collins' ability. You'll see Hudson coming over to help. And there's what you call pass interference.
But the important thing there was Collins beating number 21, Steve Tannen. That's one of the key matchups tonight. On the touchdown play, they had flipped Collins over to the other side. That's why Thomas was the one who got Buffalo.
The interference call gives Cleveland the ball. 1st down and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Nelson throws for Collins. He is tripped. Tannen tripped him, and again an interference call against the New York Jets. So here's the old pro and the rookie. The ball is put down at the New York 38-yard line. So 2 big interference calls here for Cleveland. Joe Namath watching the action. 1 minute and 53 seconds to play in the 1st quarter. Cleveland leading 7-0. The Jets have been penalized 4 times for 54 yards. Nelson to throw. Looks for Hooker. Goes for Milt Morin, the tight end. And he is dragged down by Jim Hudson at the 20-yard line for another Cleveland 1st down.
Well, that's what we talked about before. Morin one-on-one against Hudson with the troubled knees. And so far, Nelson is just chewing that secondary up, picking them apart with every matchup in his favor. Bear Hooker against Early Thomas, Gary Collins against Steve Tannen, Milt Morin against Jim Hudson.
Nelson is now 4 for 5 in his passing for 60 yards. And there's Weave Eubank. Collins wide right. Bear Hooker wide left. Fred Hoagland, the Cleveland center, stands up. And now the clock rolls as Nelson steps in at quarterback. Bill gives it to Bo Scott. A super block by Hoagland, the center, out in the flat. It is Cleveland's ball. 1st and goal to go inside the New York 5. Scott goes for 16 yards on the play. The Browns now have 9 first downs. Chip Glass, number 83, tight end. We have two tight ends in the ball game. Fair Hooker is out. First and goal at the 4. It's Kelly. At the flag, he is knocked out of bounds, short of the goal line. Tannen is there, as you see. And so is Hudson.
Let's take a look at, again, the Cleveland sweep. Outstanding job of the Jets defensive line and linebackers to force it as far as they possibly could. He just did. He ran out of running room. You see Steve Tannen coming up, and Steve has a reputation of being a real hard-nosed young fella.
With 39 seconds to play in the first quarter, Cleveland has the ball, second down and goal, just inside the New York 2. Bo Scott. Touchdown.
In talking to Nelson before the game, this is actually an audible. He sets in a brown formation, or the fullback right behind the center. And he did see a gap defense. He had a play called to the strong side, and audible back to Bo Scott to the weak side. A very good play, obviously.
Don Cockcroft is right on with his second conversion of the first quarter. And with 36 seconds remaining, the Cleveland Browns have moved out in front 14-0. That drive covering 84 yards. Next Monday on ABC NFL Monday Night Football, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, it'll be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Colts from Baltimore, Maryland. And it should be something of a ball game. The Kansas City Chiefs beaten in Minnesota yesterday. The Baltimore Colts got by the San Diego Chargers yesterday, so we look forward to next Monday night, Kansas City at Baltimore. We'll be watching when the Mod Squad begins a new season of excitement tomorrow night at 7:30, 6:30 Central Time on ABC. Cockcroft kicks off for Cleveland. It goes to Mike Battle at the 1-yard line. He's exciting, isn't he? Joe Jones finally brought him down.
A lot of times you see a kick return that is the blocking is largely responsible for it. I'm going to give Mike Battle a heck of a lot of credit here. A lot of individual effort. They tell me he's got to be the toughest kid anybody knows. He weighs about 170. I don't think he's afraid of darkness himself.
A 38-yard return, first down New York, their 39-yard line. Namath over the middle. The pass is caught by Emerson Boozer. He gets a great block from Dave Herman in the secondary before Kellerman finally comes up to make the tackle for Cleveland. E. Rich Barnes also on the play. The gain is inside the 50 down to the Cleveland 46-yard line. And we come to the end of the first quarter here in Cleveland with our score. The Browns 14, the New York Jets nothing.
Depending on how you drive and your car's condition, you can get incredible mileage from the Goodyear Custom Wide Tread Polyglass tire.
I've got 32,000 miles on my tires.
I've got 41,000 miles on my Polyglass.
But Polyglass means more than mileage when your wife has to drive alone. When a woman's at the wheel, Polyglass means more than mileage. If it doesn't say Goodyear, it can't be Polyglass. A name so different, it's registered.
This is Keith Jackson along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. You're looking at Joe Namath. First down 10 for the New York Jets at the Cleveland 46-yard line. The Browns are leading 14-0. First play of the second quarter, and it's Emerson Boozer banging his way to the 40-yard line, perhaps just inside. Walter Johnson and Jerry Shirk, the defensive tackles, make the play for the Browns.
Up till now, the Jets have had very little chance to move the football. Cleveland ran 18 offensive plays in the first quarter to only 8 for the Jets. And that's what Cleveland wanted to do, play ball control and thus keep the ball away from Joe Namath.
Ball is at the 40-yard line. Second down and a short 4. Namath to throw. Going deep for Sauer, and it is incomplete. Mike Howell, number 34, and Walt Sumner, number 29, there for the Browns.
Beautiful the way that free safety dandy done. Mike Howell from Grambling College helped out Sumner there. That's what they're going to have to do to stop Namath.
You know, Joe mentioned in his pregame comments that this is what Cleveland tries to protect against most of all, is the long pass, and there was a containment-type defense. I also thought Sumner did a fine job in his area of coverage.
Third down and 4 for the New York Jets at the Cleveland 40-yard line. Snell and Boozer are set behind Namath. Sauer and Maynard are wide, and it's Snell over the left side. Oh, great run, and some equally great blocking on the left side. Roger Finney, number 61, really helped out as he opened the hole for Mr. Snell, and he's down to the 30. That's the first down. We have a penalty flag on the field.
He may have hit a little bit late.
The foul occurring at the point of the ball. It's inside the 30-yard line, which will mean half the distance to the goal line or the 14.5-yard line. Personal foul.
Personal foul called against the Browns.
The officials tonight, headed by Norm Schechter, the referee, Jerry Hart, the umpire, Roy Sonnenberg, the head linesman, Jack Petty, the line judge, back judges John Fouts, and George Ellis is the field judge. First down, New York. Call it the Cleveland 14, Matt Snell. And Snell running behind Dave Herman is inside the 10 before Sumner gets him. A powerful man, number 41.
It's probably been said many times, but an end sweep is not an end sweep without those guards. And if you don't believe me, ask any running back.
Well, Matt Snell has led the New York Jets in rushing 5 times since he joined them. Second down, New York's ball. Cleveland 9-yard line. Second down and 5. Emerson Boozer was hit by John Garlington at the 7-yard line. The Jets, in order to get a first down, have got to go to just about the 4. It is third down and 3 for New York at the Cleveland 7. That's Snell. He's got the first down. From the end zone, we'll take another look at it.
As he hands the ball to Snell, the outside linebacker that is usually there was out in front of the wide receiver, Don Maynard. Snell made a good cut, came back through. Actually, it was a man-on-man zone block. Snell just picked his hole, did a fine job, picked up the first down.
Matt's carried 6 times for 36 yards. First and goal to go at the 2 for the Jets. Emerson Boozer, touchdown.
Right now, I want to say that in that drive, the Jets did what Joe Namath told us he was going to do. He was going to keep running right at number 2, Jerry Shirk, the rookie from Oklahoma State. And on that whole drive, Dandy Don, that's what they did.
Yeah, you know, they tell me they better watch old Shirk, though. He was some sort of a big-time college wrestler. And he is a rookie, and this is what you got to do is check him out. He's got some help in there. They did a direct attack toward him. Let's see if he recovers in this next drive.
Jim Turner will go for the extra point out of George Sauer's hold. He's almost always perfect. 12:07 to play in the first half. You're watching NFL Monday Night Football with timeout. The score now, Cleveland 14, the New York Jets 7.
Benson and Hedges 100s must taste pretty good. Look what people put up with to smoke them.
This is Big Al Hurt saying that you need only two things when you go fishing. Lots of Miller High Life and a little bit of luck. Hey, look at that, man. Big Daddy. That deserves a Miller. Hearty, robust, deep down good. Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
Jim Turner will kick off for the New York Jets. The Jets driving 61 yards in 8 plays to get on the scoreboard. Cleveland 14, New York 7. Homer Jones, number 85, who came to the Browns in the trade from the New York Giants, is now deep with number 26, Reese Morrison. And here is Jim Hudson's kickoff into the end zone, deep into the end zone, and Reese Morrison will have nothing to do with it. It'll be Cleveland's ball, 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Good kick by Jim Turner, who today reached substantial agreement on his contract terms with Eubank.
Let's take a look at this touchdown from the end zone. You'll see number 32, Emerson Boozer. The play was designed to give the effect that it was going outside. It's what you'd call an inside trap. You saw the guard pulling. That's a trap block, folks. When he comes across, he's looking to trap somebody. That's hit him from the blind side.
The Cleveland Browns go to the offense, shifting out of the I formation with Bill Nelson, number 16, in there. Number 65 is John DeMarie, the guard. Nelson to throw, gets it away. It's deflected and almost picked off by one of those charging New York defensive linemen. John Elliott, number 80. Berlin Biggs, number 86. Steve Thompson, number 85. And Mark Lomas, the rookie, number 84. All came pouring in.
This will be a testing sequence for the New York Jets, Keith, because they've shown offensive resiliency. They're back in the ball game, but they've got to contain Cleveland, and they haven't yet forced a turnover of the football in this contest.
And the two rookies remain at the cornerback positions, number 21, Steve Tannen, and number 45, Early Thomas. Howard, they may be getting their second win about now, though. Let's see what Bill Nelson does. He'll throw it again. He looks for Collins. He throws instead up the middle, intended for Morin. And Al Atkinson and Ralph Baker, the two linebackers, have dropped back, and they pinched him. And the pass is incomplete. 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Cleveland Browns. They lead 14-7. Nelson now 5 for 8 in his passing for 75 yards. And he threw for one of the touchdowns. 11 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the first half. The Browns scored first on a 55-yard march, 9 plays, with Nelson hitting Collins, and then Bo Scott ran it in from 2 yards to make it 14-0. The Jets came back to drive 61 yards and make it a 14-7 game here in the first half with 11:55 to play. Nelson to throw. Milt Morin wide open. And Morin goes to the 45-yard line, a 25-yard gain. Jim Hudson made the tackle.
These films will show a lot to the other teams coming up to play the Jets.
Let's take a look at it now. You see Steve Tannen, that's on Gary Collins. Collins has taken him deep. There's a fine example of your bump and run. What we didn't see was Milt Morin dragging him behind him. A drag, he went down about 15 yards and cut to the outside. And Hudson had a little bit too much room to cover there. Fine call, fine throw. Nelson was hit hard on that play.
Ball down just shy of the 45-yard line. Penalty flag down immediately from the referee as the handoff is given to Leroy Kelly, and Kelly is rolled out of bounds by Ralph Baker. So the New York Jets defensive captain Al Atkinson will visit with referee Norm Schachter here. Leroy Kelly now coming up to join the conversation, but he is not welcome.
They're probably calling Leroy for illegal motion or moving before the snap. But, you know, there's a guy that just looks like he's moving a lot because he does move so quick. We'll see. That's what the call was, so I guess maybe he was that time. He's awful quick, though, ref.
Ball is moved back just inside the 40-yard line. First down and 15 for the Browns. The former Trojan from USC, Bill Nelson, at quarterback. Number 43, Fair Hooker, Sun Devil from Arizona State, coming off to the left side. Gary Collins, both wide receivers are to the left side. They give it to Bo Scott, the fullback. And there's no daylight as the New York Jets defensive front four came crashing in, and Verlin Biggs was right there to really mess it up. Gus Holloman also in the ball game, number 48.
They're defensing the Browns much better on the ground. The point of vulnerability has been, unfortunately, from the Jets' point of view, Jim Hudson because of the damaged knees. It's only a matter of time till Gus Holloman came in there.
Second down and 17 for Cleveland. As Bill Nelson throws for his tight end, Milt Morin.
But Holloman was all over.
He was.
Number 48 is Holloman.
It stands to reason, though. You're going to check Holloman out real quick, see if he can cover.
It'll be third down and 17 for the Cleveland Browns. All back just inside the 39-yard line. Third down, 16. The score is 14-7, and there's Gus Holloman, number 48, who may see a lot of action before this ball game is over, instead of Jim Hudson. It's tough to take that knife 8 times on your knees. Third down, 16, as Nelson goes deep. Verlin Biggs is back, but he gets the pass away to Morin, complete at midfield. Larry Grantham, linebacker, and Holloman make the play for the Jets in the secondary.
But this will be the first turnover, the first time Cleveland's failed to sustain a drive.
It'll be fourth down and 5 yards to go for the Cleveland Browns, and Don Cockcroft is in the ball game to punt. His first punt of the night. The deep men for New York are Mike Battle and Ed Bell. Ed Bell is the little fellow, 160-pounder, and can he go? The kick is away, high, very high. Mike Battle put the hand up, indicating fair catch, takes a bounce back upfield, and Chip Glass, number 83, puts it down. And Chip is run into by one of the Jets and didn't care much for it, but it'll be New York's ball, first and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
Cockcroft punt down on the Jets' 13-yard line.
NFL Monday Night Football will continue from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, with timeout our score. The Cleveland Browns 14 and the New York Jets 7.
Did your last car turn you off? Drink too much gas? Cost too much money? Why gamble? This year, make yourself a Maverick. You can get 2 doors, a peppy 6-engine, simple service in the economy Maverick and save a lot of money. Or you can make yourself a sporty economy Maverick with hood scoops, optional buckets, and sporty looks in the new Maverick Grabber and save a lot of money. Or you can make yourself a family economy Maverick with 4 doors. More power if you want it. Extra room. You'll have the new family Maverick and save a lot of money. Why gamble? We've got 3 sure things for you. Make yourself a Maverick, the simple machine that always pays off. Ford gives you better ideas.
Just part of the magic of Joe Namath reflected right there on your television screen. Part of the reason why he is so heralded as a pro football quarterback. And next week, when Kansas City plays in Baltimore, we expect to see another great one, Johnny Unitas, pass 20 miles in his professional career. Now let's see what the New York Jets can do. 1st and 10 from their 13-yard line. A 14-7 game, Cleveland leading. Boozer and Snell are the setbacks, and they go to Emerson Boozer. He ducks into the middle, and he gets to about the 15.
You know, Namath has passed from Mount Vernon to Sulphur Springs. I never got past Sal Tillett, Keith.
Big Walter Johnson from Cal State, L.A., number 71. Ron Snido, number 88, in that Cleveland defensive huddle from Oregon. Jerry Shirk is number 72, the young man who is getting his first real taste tonight of professional football. He was a heavyweight wrestling champion at Oklahoma State. Namath to throw on 2nd down and 8. He's got Sauer wide open. Sauer is dumped hard by Kellerman, but he's got the ball for a 1st down.
I think it could be pointed out there's been a lot of talk about what is a zone, and that's when the halfback plays zone. We'll take a look at it here on isolated. You'll see Sauer go to the outside, and Joe throws right in the hole. Kellerman's responsibility on a zone defense, and he's the strong safety, is to keep him from getting deep. So he rolls very deep to the outside with Sumner coming up on the short side. That was a beautifully executed pass.
17 yards on the play. 1st down, New York at their own 32. Namath, 3 out of 6 in passing, 46 yards. Joe will throw again. Going deep, down the sideline. Sauer is there. He's got it. New York's ball, 1st down at the Cleveland 28.
All right, let's take another look at it. He comes right back. This time the zone or the flood is over to this side of the field, the wide side. You saw Sauer make a great move to the outside and just get a couple of steps on Walt Sumner. And that's all you need with Joe Willie throwing.
And I want to tell you, number 41, Matt Snell, did some job of pass blocking on number 88, Ron Snido. That made it possible for Namath and the Ultimate to make the throw.
And Howard, Joe told you he'd test the Cleveland secondary on the bomb. He got 40 on that throw. 8 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the 1st half. It's in the 1st half, 8:05 to go. You're watching NFL Monday Night Football with timeout. The score, Cleveland 14, New York 7.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Tom Seaver.
I, Tom Seaver.
Have switched to Gillette Platinum Plus blades.
Have switched to Gillette Platinum Plus blades.
Because they stand up better.
Because they stand up better.
To shave me closer and with more comfort.
To shave me with more comfort.
No, closer. Show the blade.
Gillette Platinum Plus. Harder than stainless, more durable than chrome. For the shave you've always wanted, and more.
Closer. No, I don't mean hold it closer. Get the football player.
Zenith announces Chromacolor 100, a totally advanced Chromacolor TV system that brings you a new Chromacolor picture so much brighter, so much sharper, with so much greater contrast and detail. You've really got to see it to see it. New Chromacolor 100 in new 25-inch giant screen consoles. Only Zenith has it.
Joe Namath walking back onto the field and into the huddle after a brief conference with his coach, Weeb Eubank. We have a change in the Cleveland secondary. Freddie Summers, a 2-year man from Wake Forest, number 20, is now in the secondary. The New York Jets have the football, 1st and 10, at the Cleveland 28-yard line. The Browns are leading 14-7 with 8:05 to go in the 1st half. Namath to throw. Over the middle for Sauer. And a great defensive play by Walt Sumner saved a touchdown. Walt angry because he thought he might have intercepted it.
There's a penalty marker down on that play. And it's going to be a big one against the Jets for offensive holding.
next Monday night. Kansas City at Baltimore. As you watch NFL Monday Night Football on ABC. The Jets have been penalized 5 times for 69 yards so far in the game. It's first down and a half mile for New York from the Cleveland 49. They give it to Emerson Boozer. Slowed up at the line of scrimmage. Perhaps he made it to the 48. Jack Gregory, the man who will get credit for the tackle. The story on Namath so far in the ball game. The ball is at the Cleveland 48, just outside the 48-yard line. The Jets, in order to get the first down, have got to go to about the 18-yard line. And there's the time remaining in the first half. Summers has left the game now, and Mike Howell has returned at safety for Cleveland. Namath's pass for Maynard. He's got it at the 32, and he is dropped right there by E. Rich Barnes.
Take a look at where Don Maynard's head is just as the ball gets there. The ball was thrown way before he turned. And this is the timing. Erich Barnes is a veteran that's been in the league for several years, but this is the type timing between a quarterback and a receiver that just really can't be stopped. An excellent throw and an excellent catch.
It is third down and 14 yards to go for the New York Jets at the Cleveland Browns' 32-yard line. Emerson Boozer. John Garlington finally runs him down, and what a run by number 32.
And what a superb individual effort, and what a call, with Weave Eubank probably responsible. He likes to use that kind of call on third down and long yardage. It's a surprise, even as Paul Brown used it to spring Jesse Phillips loose for 76 yards yesterday on Cincinnati's behalf against Oakland.
Boozer picked up 15 yards on the play. 1 yard more than the Jets needed for the first down. They now have the ball, 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 17-yard line. The clock shows 6:16. Let's listen to the call by Namath. Matt Snell in the middle. Penalty flag flips right into the pile as Matt is stacked up at about the 16-yard line by Jerry Shirk, number 72. And it's going to go against the Jets. Offensive holding. The ball is back at the 31-yard line.
The yardage and penalties against both teams.
90 yards so far for the Jets. First down. Namath will throw it. He goes deep for Sauer. It's intercepted by Sumner. Walt Sumner brings it back, intercepting at the 9-yard line, and he brings it all the way back to the 40.
This is a great move by Sumner. He was right with Sauer. He didn't go with Sauer's inside fake. The ball was a little bit overthrown. Look at him. He went up about 3 feet over Sauer, and he knows what to do with it when he catches that ball. You're going to see Dave Herman get a pretty good shot, number 67, but I imagine he feels like it's worth it.
Two-year man from Florida State, Walt Sumner, with a big defensive play for the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns have the ball. Homer Jones, number 85, is wide to the left side as Bill Nelson gives the ball to Leroy Kelly. And Kelly is caught around the ankles by linebacker Larry Grantham.
Good play by John Elliott that time as he knocked off the leading guards, messed up the play in the backfield.
And once again, a testing sequence for the Jets defense because the Jets were really moving. They're back in the ball game. They were threatening, figured to get at the very least a field goal, then had the interception.
Kelly lost 2 yards on the play at 2nd down and 12 from the 38-yard line for Cleveland. And this time, Homer Jones and Fair Hooker, the wide receivers, are both on the right side. Bill Nelson gives instead on the short side to Leroy Kelly. And Kelly cannot do a thing as Larry Grantham is right there to nail him down with Elliott and Biggs helping out.
And Early Thomas, if I might add, Keith, number 45, the rookie, playing up tight and turning that back, as Don Meredith described earlier.
Let's watch the defensive rush here. We'll get a good idea of how strong Verlin Biggs and Larry Grantham are. And they fitted off some pretty good-sized fellas to get back there. Grantham is recognized throughout the league as, and there's Early Thomas coming in, kind of seal things up. Grantham is probably the most active, or one of the most active outside linebackers in football.
Call it 3rd down and 16 for Cleveland, just outside their 34-yard line. Bill Nelson to throw under the rush, gets his pass away, and Fair Hooker, in a battle with Steve Tannen, and a penalty flag, goes into the air in a hurry.
I think this one is against the offensive player, Fair Hooker. He was pushing off on Tannen, I think.
Here's Fair Hooker. You see him. Yeah. There's old Fair Hooker right there.
But up in the middle of the line, there was defensive holding, and it's an automatic 1st down
I'm sure
for
glad
the
there
Cleveland
was,
Browns.
I'm glad there was defensive holding because I didn't see any offensive interference.
Ball is outside the 38-yard line.
So far, these penalties are incredible. 95 yards against the Jets, 15 against the Cleveland Browns.
4 minutes to play in the 1st half as Nelson goes to throw. Wants to go deep. He's got Hooker wide open, and it's a little bit too long. He had Holloman, and Tannen beat Cole. So Bill Nelson, reaching for the long one for the first time tonight, almost had one. Bill now 7 for 12 in his passing for 117 yards. You know, Homer Jones came over here to Cleveland. Everybody thought he would just step into a wide receiver job, but this young man from Arizona State had other things on his mind, and he took the starting job. There you see the time remaining in the 1st half, with the Browns leading by a score of 14-7. 2nd down and 10, Cleveland from their own 38. Nelson under the rush. Gets his pass away. It is incomplete. Intended for Fair Hooker. And coming across with a jarring defensive play is the rookie, Steve Tannen.
Let's take a look at John Elliott. As John Elliott's playing off a couple of blockers. It's reminiscent of Bob Lilly. We used to watch the game films at home. When he makes the move, he's actually going to be the man that forces Nelson to throw. And he still makes the play. Quarterbacks love guys like Elliott.
He's got to be about as quick as any defensive lineman you'll ever see. I think we should also note, too, Howard and I were talking earlier about Bill Nelson had an ear problem. As a matter of fact, he had minor surgery on his ear earlier this week. 3rd down and 10. Cleveland from their own 38. Verlin Biggs has got a shot. And he gets him just as he releases the ball, and the pass is well under the intended target, Milt Moran. So Bill Nelson really took a shot from Verlin Biggs coming from the blind side that time, and Cleveland will have to kick it away.
He's not at all happy about it, but he's not happy with his offensive pass blocking. He's not unhappy with Verlin Biggs, who did what he's supposed to do.
And this Saturday on ABC, NCAA college football, Penn State and Colorado at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I guarantee you there will be some hitting in that one. They'll play it in Boulder. The deep men for New York. Number 40 is Mike Battle. Number 7 is Ed Bell. Cockroft's punt. High twisting spiral. Ed Bell calls fair catch at the 23-yard line, and there the Jets will have it, 1st and 10, with 3:38 to play in the first half. Ed Bell, number 7, is a rookie from Idaho State. They list him at 160 pounds and 5'10", but I think that's probably after he puts a couple of rocks in his pocket or right after lunch. But he can really fly. Of course, the Jets are blessed with great speed at virtually every position. Joe Namath sets, and he'll go to work 1st and 10 from the 23 with Knock and Lee White, the setbacks, and he throws it to Lee White. And a penalty flag is again on the field as White gets the ball across the 30 to the 32. He picked up about 9 yards, but let's watch the penalty.
It appears that it is again against the New York Jets. Dandy done. The way they're going, they'll be lucky to get off the field with the score the way it is.
The offensive infraction by the New York Jets cost them 15 big yards from the line of scrimmage and moved the football all the way back to the 12-yard line. That's 106 yards now for the Jets as Namath fires for Maynard and gets him at the 29, and Don makes it just outside the 30. Erich Barnes, number 40, on the tackle for Cleveland.
Namath is now using Maynard well on Erich Barnes, who is, as Don pointed out earlier, a veteran, listed at 35 years of age. In the meantime, the Jets have suffered 110 yards in penalties, and the Browns 15 yards.
Two minutes and 35 seconds to play in the first half. It is 2nd down and 2 yards to go for the Jets for the first down as Namath goes quickly to George Sauer, and Sauer skips out of bounds up at the 37, maybe the 38-yard line, and that will be enough for a New York first down. Walt Sumner covering for Cleveland.
It's commonly referred to as a percentage pass. This one is right on the money again. Again, the Cleveland Browns rolled into a zone coverage or a double coverage to the strong side of the field, and Joe read his defense as well and came back to Sauer for a first down.
Namath is now 8 out of 12 in passing for 129 yards. He'll throw it again. Intercepted by Jim Houston, the middle linebacker. And he takes it down to the New York 27-yard line. Pete Lammons brought him down.
A superb play by Houston. There's nobody better at that than he. This is his first year at middle linebacker. He was a corner linebacker, you'll recollect, through the years. This is a great athlete.
And it's back to the 27-yard line. First down for the Browns.
The trademark of Cleveland's defense has always been drop deep and let's contain them. That's your middle linebacker that's basically 18 yards deep.
We go back to live action. And from the 27-yard line, 26-yard line, make it. The gain is down to just short of the 25 for about a 1-yard pickup. Al Atkinson and John Elliott on the tackle. And Bill Nelson comes to the sideline to talk with us. Coach, you're watching NFL Monday Night Football with timeout. Our score, the Cleveland Browns 14 and the New York Jets 7.
The brand of spark plug you use can make a difference in hill climbing power. And right here at Road America, football great Paul Hornung and home run champion Roger Maris are going to prove it. They'll drive identical new Chevy trucks. There's just one important difference. Hornung's truck, the white one, has champion spark plugs. But Maris's truck has a different brand. Hornig's champion-equipped truck takes the lead and holds it to win the hill climb. Now we switch the plugs and run the race again. This time Maris's truck, the red one, gets the champions. Throttles are mechanically controlled, so if Maris's truck wins this time, the reason has to be a difference in spark plugs. Maris and champions win. Roger Maris and Paul Horning found out why over 20 million car and truck owners have switched to champions from other brands. Check it out for yourself. Champions can make a difference.
Leroy Kelly has now carried the football 12 times, but he has picked up only 21 yards against the Jets. It is 2nd down and 9 for Cleveland. Ball just outside the New York 25. Bo Scott and Leroy Kelly, 35 and 44, their numbers respectively, are the setbacks behind Bill Nelson. Hickerson and Damari, the guards. Nelson, screen pass to Bo Scott. Oh, look at that. Al Atkinson came pouring through there, along with Steve Thompson. And did they ever mess up that attempted screen?
And along with Ralph Bacon, number 51. They read it perfectly.
Joe Namath watching from the sidelines. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in the first half. The Browns are leading 14-7. The loss is all the way back to the 35-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 24. Make that 3rd down and 19. Nelson to throw. Pressure's on. He gets his pass away. It is caught by Fair Hooker right about the 20-yard line, but that'll be short of the 1st down. Early Thomas, the rookie cornerback, made the play for the Jets in the secondary. There's the young man that made the catch. And we have another penalty flag back upfield. So let's watch as the officials confer with New York. Looks like the call is against Cleveland. Looks like a major penalty. The Browns are leading 14-7, getting 2 first-quarter touchdowns. The Jets scored in the 2nd quarter. And we have offensive holding against Cleveland, which literally puts them out of field goal range.
You know, Fair Hooker's reception is not going to count, but he did do a fine job of coming back to catch an underthrown ball. It was underthrown primarily because Nelson was hit just about the time he released the ball. Isn't Fair Hooker a great name?
I pass.
3rd down and about 42 yards to go for the Cleveland Browns. The ball is back at their 40. Bill Nelson wants to throw it deep. He throws for Gary Collins, comes back and dropped it. Steve Tannen, the rookie, was whipped on the play as Collins saw the pass was short, but Gary couldn't hold it.
Collins on the outside. Tannen is not playing the bump and run as much as he was. You'll see Collins had him beat. A lot of long receptions are made just like this for a ball being underthrown, and actually Collins should have caught that one. It was not a well-thrown ball. Tannen let him get behind him, and he had his back turned to the quarterback, and he was just trying his best to keep up with him.
Cockroft will punt for Cleveland on 4th down and 42. Mike Battle and Ed Bell are the deep men for the Jets. Good hanging punt. And Ed Bell takes it at the 19-yard line on a fair catch where the Jets will have it 1st down. 48 seconds to go in the first half. At halftime, Howard Cosell will have highlights from 5 games played yesterday in professional football, the National Football League. And as you know, there were a lot of things to talk about on this Monday morning. Also, be sure to watch Johnny Cash starting a new season Wednesday night with guests Liza Minnelli, Arlo Guthrie, and Ray Charles on ABC. Joe Namath gives it to Matt Snell. And Snell from the 20, up across the 20, maybe the 26-yard line. Walt Sumner made the tackle for Cleveland. scored twice in the first quarter. Bill Nelson hit Gary Collins for the first touchdown, ending a 55-yard march. Then Bo Scott ran it in to cap an 84-yard drive. In the second quarter, the Jets marched 61 yards and got on the board, and that's where we are, 14-7 with 31 seconds to play in the first half before 80,000 people at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The 13th time the Cleveland Browns have drawn more than 80,000. 13th consecutive time. Each ball club with 2 timeouts remaining. Joe Namath gives to Matt Snell. Snell has a first down as he gets great blocking in the middle of the line, and he goes all the way to the 38-yard line. A pickup of 12 yards on the play. Mike Howell on the tackle for Cleveland. This Saturday on ABC, NCAA college football features the Penn State Nittany Lions against the Colorado Buffaloes at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Penn State undefeated in 32 consecutive games, taking on one of the biggest Colorado teams in recent years. I mean, they're really Buffaloes this year. So watch them Saturday at 4 Eastern Daylight Time here on ABC. Well, Don Meredith, you and Howard Cosell and I, we all had time to sit around and visit and talk with everybody about their game plan. Now, it looks to me like that everybody has been reasonably close to it so far.
I think you're right, Keith. You know, I was thinking as I watched Joe run these last 2 plays, you know, why did he do that? I don't know why he did it, but it seems to work real well. A lot of times when a guy has one picked off, he's a little hesitant to throw one again. And I bet you he throws one this time.
25 seconds to go on first down and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Namath back. Snydow's got a shot at him, but he gets it away just in time, and the pass intended for Emerson Boozer is incomplete.
Snydow got a good shot at him, and he hit him, too.
Joe Namath and the New York Jet quarterbacks were sacked only 16 times in the entire season last year. Only Darryl LaMonica of the Oakland Raiders enjoyed greater success. You don't see Joe Namath down too many times, at least sacked too many times. You see him down a lot, but after the ball is gone. Second down and 10, New York from their own 38. We have 20 seconds to go in the first half. Remember, Howard Cosell will have highlights from 5 National Football League games coming up for you at halftime. Namath to throw. Over the middle, it is caught by tight end Pete Lamons, and a penalty flag is down. The gain to Lamons is going to be close to a first down out around the 47, 48-yard line. Jim Houston, the linebacker who picked off that pass a few minutes ago, was there to make the play defensively for the Browns. Norm Schachter discussing it with his officials and with the offensive captain of the New York Jets, Joe Namath. Jim Houston, who is the defensive captain there of the Cleveland Browns, standing in the middle of it. So far, the Jets have been penalized 106 yards, the Browns 49. We have offsetting penalties, so the ball stays where it is. We have 14 seconds remaining in the first half. Ball is on the Jets' 48-yard line. The Cleveland Browns at home here in Municipal Stadium against the New York Jets. Both these great teams now members of the American Football Conference. The Jets in the Eastern Division and the Browns in the Central. The first time they have ever played each other. First down, New York at their own 48. Just enough on the pass play to Lamons. The offsetting penalties getting the Jets the first down. Namath to throw. He goes over the middle for Pete Lamons again, and again it's Jim Houston, number 82 in white, right there, the middle linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. He almost had another one.
He sure did. I don't know whether that was a turn-in route or whether actually Lamons was supposed to go to the outside, but whatever he was supposed to do, Houston did what he was supposed to do very well, and that was play the quarterback and react to the throw of the ball. You have a tendency to get a little careless in the last part of a a half or the latter part of the ball game, you want to get down the field so badly that sometimes you forget to read all your keys, and certainly the middle linebacker is a big key in the passing game, and especially if you play against Cleveland.
With 10 seconds to play, you have to think that Joe Namath is thinking field goal right now. Get it close enough for Jim Turner, who has great range, and Namath going with a bomb intended for Don Maynard. The pass is thrown out of bounds, but Maynard never really had any hope of getting that one because E. Rich Barnes had him on the ropes all the way. So now we have 4 seconds to play.
Possibly you can see Ernie Kellerman that also came over to cover Maynard on a deep route. Again, I don't hate to be repetitious, but this is what Cleveland does very well. They hate for you to get deep, and they try to cover both of your outside receivers with 2 men whenever that's possible. And they can do it with the double zone, or they play short and long.
Namath in the first half, 8 for 16 in passing. 4 seconds to go in the first half. Third down, Jets, and 10 from the 48. It's Boozer. Not much. Walter Johnson, number 71, there to get him as the gun cracks, ending the first half of play. So it's halftime here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, with our scoreboard reading: the Cleveland Browns 14 and the New York Jets 7.
Long before Marlboro country, the West was New York City.
Yeah, the West was New York City 200 years ago. Then it started moving westward with a long, long way to go. Oh, the West moved west heading for Chicago, but it never ever settled down. It just kept on a-moving westward toward the land of the big sundown. Across the wide Missouri, across the mountains high, the West moved west till it came to rest beneath the blue Pacific sky.
Till today, the West is everywhere, and everywhere is Marlboro country.
Everywhere from New York City to the blue Pacific sky.
Come to Marlboro country.
Matt Lincoln, starring Vince Edwards, premieres Thursday night on ABC.
Remaining in the first half. Ball is on the Jets' 48-yard line. The Cleveland Browns at home here in Municipal Stadium against the New York Jets. Both these great teams now members of the American Football Conference. The Jets in the Eastern Division and the Browns in the Central. The first time they have ever played each other. First down, New York, at their own 48. Just enough on the pass play to Lamons, the offsetting penalties, getting the Jets the first down. Namath to throw. He goes over the middle for Pete Lamons again, and again it's Jim Houston, number 82 in white, right there, the middle linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. He almost had another one.
He sure did. I don't know whether that was a turn-in route or whether actually Lamons was supposed to go to the outside, but whatever he was supposed to do, Houston did what he was supposed to do very well, and that was play the quarterback and react to the throw of the ball. You have a tendency to get a little careless in the last part of a half or the latter part of the ball game. You want to get down the field so badly that sometimes you forget to read all your keys, and certainly the middle linebacker is a big key in the passing game, and especially if you play against Cleveland.
With 10 seconds to play. You have to think that Joe Namath is thinking field goal right now. Get it close enough for Jim Turner, who has great range, and Namath going with a bomb intended for Don Maynard. The pass is thrown out of bounds, but Maynard never really had any hope of getting that one because E. Rich Barnes had him on the ropes all the way. So now we have 4 seconds to play.
Possibly you can see Ernie Kellerman that also came over to cover Maynard on a deep route. Again, I don't hate to be repetitious, but this is what Cleveland does very well. They hate for you to get deep, and they try to cover both of your outside receivers with 2 men whenever that's possible. And they can do it with the double zone, or they play short and long.
Namath in the first half, 8 for 16 in passing. 4 seconds to go in the first half. Third down, Jets, and 10 from the 48. It's Boozer. Not much. Walter Johnson, number 71, there to get him as the gun cracks, ending the first half of play. So it's halftime here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, with our scoreboard reading: the Cleveland Browns 14 and the New York Jets 7.
Long before Marlboro country, the West was New York City.
Yeah, the West was New York City 200 years ago. Then it started moving westward with a long, long way to go. Oh, the West moved west heading for Chicago, but it never ever settled down. It just kept on moving westward toward the land of the big sundown. Across the wide Missouri, across the mountains high, the West moved west till it came to rest in the blue Pacific sky.
Till today, the West is everywhere, and everywhere is Marlboro country.
Everywhere from New York City to the blue Pacific sky.
Come to Marlboro country.
Matt Lincoln, starring Vince Edwards, premieres Thursday night on ABC.
It's halftime at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, with the Cleveland Browns leading the New York Jets by a score of 14-7. And I think you'll agree that it was a good first half. At first, it appeared the game might be a rout. The first 2 times Cleveland had the ball in the first quarter, Bill Nelson brilliantly engineered 2 touchdown drives. At first, the Jets couldn't stifle the Browns' ground game, and Nelson quickly mixed it up with passing, and then the Jets came back, so it's 14-7 with a good half ahead of us still. Now we're going to take you into our regular halftime pattern during these Monday night telecasts. Highlights of NFL games provided by NFL Films, highlights of games played the previous weekend. And we want to begin tonight by showing you the Los Angeles Rams against the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Bears against the New York Giants. So let's pick up with the first game in Los Angeles. The powerhouse Los Angeles Rams at the Los Angeles Coliseum, about to take on the Big Red, the St. Louis Cardinals. With the ball, Jim Hart, number 17, the quarterback, trying to mount a passing attack in the early going, being chased down by the irrepressible Deacon Jones, number 75. Now Hart goes to his wide receiver, Davey Williams, who's hit by Maxie Baughan. It looks good, but the Cards got nowhere in the first half, scoring only 3 points to the Rams' 17. Second half kickoff, Jim Bakken for the Cardinals, all the way down to the Rams' 2, taken by Alvin Heyman, number 23. And that's all the hole he had to find. Watch him go as he uses his brilliant speed and timing to cut back and go all the way. 98 yards. Widely known as one of the best kick returners in football. Heyman's done this so many times. National Football League fans have almost come to expect it. The conversion was good. It's 24-3. Now Hart tries to come back, and he hits Johnny Gilliam, number 44. Gilliam moves on upfield for a 28-yard gain, and you saw the push from Gilliam against number 17, and a little bit of temper out there. Cardinals did pick up a field goal, and still they're trying to come back. Hart looks left, and now he will throw long and right. Number 81, Jackie Smith, the practically perfect tight end who roars in for the score on 59-yard pass play. But it didn't help the Cardinals. In truth, they were never in the game. Just a minute and 40 seconds to go now. Roman Gabriel spots Jack Snow, number 84, the former Notre Dame great. This is the final touchdown of the game, the extra point good. The Rams 34, the Cardinals 13. Now it's Saturday night at Yankee Stadium. The Giants against the Chicago Bears. The captains shake hands. The Giants get an early lead on a Gogolak field goal, 3-0. Now Gogolak kicks off following the field goal. And this is Cecil Turner of the Bears. That's all the space he's going to need. Watch him go down the sidelines, virtually unchallenged. This is the score that will put the Bears ahead. They make the extra point, and it's their ball game at this moment, 7-3. But quickly, the Giants come back. Number 10, Fran Tarkenton, spotting wide receiver Rich Houston, number 84 at the sidelines. He goes on upfield before he's knocked out of bounds. This is a gain of 35 yards. Now Tarkenton's ready to move in for a score. The fake to a back who goes into the line. The pitch out to Ron Johnson. Acquired in the offseason from the Cleveland Browns. Johnson, number 30, scores. The Giants move ahead with the extra point to a 10-7 lead. They dominated the first half. The Bears control the game in the second half. This is the virtual end. Concannon throwing to Dick Gordon, who beats number 20, Scott Eaton. And then again, with the extra point, the Chicago Bears have beaten the New York Football Giants 24-16. All right, we'll have more National Football League highlights right after this message as the Browns lead the Jets at Municipal Stadium 14-7 at halftime.
If those guys hit you, man, you've got a claim. But there's an insurance pro who can help you get fast, fair payment.
That's a fender and a bumper for sure.
He's an independent agent, and he knows that his business depends on his giving you personal service. So see the pro where you find this symbol. Only a member of the National Association of Insurance Agents can display it. And don't ever drive in Packer Stadium.
Today, there are some men who feel a need to break away from the crowd. Men who want to escape from the ordinary. But without calling too much attention to themselves. For men like these, we have the answer. One that works without a hitch. The getaway shirt from Arrow.
You're late, Houdini. You said 10 o'clock. It's already 11:30. I'm paying a sitter, you know. Now, Arthur, I hope you're not going to just hide out around the house. Oh, the place is a mess. Listen, the grass is really getting out of hand. The shower...
The getaway shirt. Of course, it won't let you get away from everything.
You know, it wouldn't hurt if you washed the car. Oh, and Arthur...
See the new season premiere of Marcus Welby, M.D. tomorrow night.
All right, we're back in the television booth at Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. The score at halftime, as you can see. We're back live in Municipal Stadium. The score at halftime, the Cleveland Browns against the New York Jets. Now we want to go back to our highlights provided by NFL Films, beginning with the Dolphins against the Patriots. Harvard Stadium, Cambridge, Massachusetts, the Miami Dolphins. Muchly improved, they say, against the Boston Patriots in slow motion. Bob Greasy, number 12, quarterback of the Dolphins, hitting Paul Warfield, number 42, one of the truly great wide receivers in pro football, for a 19-yard gain. Miami dominated during the first half with plays like this one. Jim Kick, an underpublicized back from Wyoming, moving in 5 yards in the score, which made the score at that time 14-3 in favor of Miami. But Boston, a major underdog, kept coming back with plays like this one. Carl Garrett, the American Football League Rookie of the Year a year ago, spinning, breaking tackles, a run of 26 yards on the draw. 9:08 gone in the fourth period. The score now 20-14 in favor of Boston. Mike Tolliver finding Ron Sellers, number 34, the fine second-year receiver from Florida State. And the upset is executed. Boston 27, Miami 14. Bill Bengtson, coach of the Green Bay Packers, the year that the Pack is supposed to be back. Green Bay against Detroit. Perry Williams with the ball. He's not going anywhere today, not against that Detroit front four. At halftime, it was Detroit 13, Green Bay nothing. Third period, Bart Starr throwing. Lem Barney, premier cornerback in the National Football League, picking it off, 40 yards for the touchdown. At this point, it's Detroit 23, Green Bay nothing. Joe Schmidt, understandably, is applauding his Lions. Now watch this. Number 42, Altie Taylor. Remember him from Utah State? Nagging injuries have hampered him thus far in his Detroit career, but he says this will be his year, and many say it will be the year of the Lions. He made 34 yards on that play. Nell Farr, number 24, coming off knee surgery, showing no effects of it, sprinting in for a touchdown. 30-0 now. Greg Landry, number 11, giant-sized quarterback from Massachusetts, the quarterback keeper. He will run out of speed. So for that matter, will his defender, Al Matthews. I don't know how much Greg wanted, more than that. We're 12:36 into the final period. Triplett has the ball. Detroit is punching wide open holes in the Green Bay line. And the final score is, incredibly, Detroit 40, the Green Bay Packers nothing. Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, the home of the still new Cincinnati Bengals and Paul Brown. Mike Eischeid of the Oakland Raiders, heavily favored. Kicking the punt is partially blocked. Kenny Graham picks it off like shortstop Don Kessinger of the Cubs. He moves downfield, fumbles. The ball goes out of bounds on the Oakland 7. It sets up the first Cincinnati touchdown. Now watch LaMonica. The fake handoff, the pass. Number 87, tight end. Brilliant rookie from Morgan State. Powerful and swift. Unable to be dragged down. Finally pushed out of bounds. What a player he's going to be. One of 97 rookies in the American Conference. We're 8 minutes, 37 seconds into the third period. LaMonica, with his team trailing 21-7, hits Biletnikoff. It's 21-14. Now, Cincinnati forced to kick again. This young man's name is Alvin Wyatt. He comes from Bethune-Cookman in Florida. Another of those 97 rookies. Watch this young man go. He was Oakland's 6th-round draft choice. They're not going to catch him on this, not until it's too late. 72 yards. And the score is tied with the successful point after, 21-21. With 12 minutes and 26 seconds into the third quarter. It was third down, 28 yards to go. Cincinnati on its own 24. Paul Brown sent in the draw play. And Jesse Phillips, a defensive back at Michigan State, goes 76 yards for the touchdown. Cincinnati upsets Oakland 31-21. Some of the NFL highlights over the recent weekend is provided by NFL Films. We're back live here at Municipal Stadium. Score, Cleveland 14, Jets 7 at halftime. Quick recap in the first period. Nelson led the Browns 55 yards in 9 plays, 7-0 Cleveland. Then he led them 84 yards in 11 plays, 14-0. The Jets came back with 1 in the second quarter. And now with the second half ready to begin, let's go back to Keith Jackson.
Thank you very much, Howard. Plenty of excitement there. NFL Monday Night Football, the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns, is being brought to you by United Airlines, the airline of sport champions, the airline the pros fly, the friendly skies of United, and by Marlboro Filter Cigarettes. Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro Country. Tonight's attendance here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, 85,703. That is the largest crowd in the Cleveland Browns history. And a quick look at the halftime statistics. First downs for the New York Jets, 13. 12 for the Cleveland Browns. Offensive plays just about dead even, 33 for the Jets and 32 for the Browns. Rushing yardage, Jets had 83, the Browns only 23. In passing, Joe Namath 129 yards. Bill Nelson, 101 yards, and the total yardage, the Jets have a substantial lead in that department, 212 total yards, 224 for the Browns. But the Jets are behind on the scoreboard by a score of 14-7. And the ball game for the second half is underway as Jim Turner kicks off. It goes to Homer Jones. Homer takes it at the 6-yard line for the Cleveland Browns, and he breaks into the open. Now it's a foot race. He'll go all the way. And there are no penalty flags on the field. Homer Jones goes 94 yards to start the second half. Jim Turner, the kicker, was the only man who really got his hands on him.
Let's take a look at it. Here's Homer Jones from Pittsburgh, Texas, number 85. Great speed. Actually, he just hit right through a hole. I don't see a lot of outstanding blocking, but there must have been some someplace. Ain't nobody gonna catch Homer now. Homer is heading for that goal line.
The point after by Cockcroft is good. You're watching NFL Monday Night Football. Timeout. The score: the Cleveland Browns 21, the New York Jets 7.
Depending on how you drive and your car's condition, you can get incredible mileage from the Goodyear Custom Wide Tread Polyglass tire.
I got about 35,000 miles on these Polyglass tires.
I've got 38,000 on the tires right now.
But Polyglass means more than mileage when your wife has to drive alone. When a woman's at the wheel, Polyglass means more than mileage. If it doesn't say Goodyear, it can't be Polyglass. A name so different, it's registered.
Well, now, what do you think about momentum to start the second half?
Well, that was a great start for Cleveland, obviously. I have to chuckle because how Homer Jones wanted to show the people in New York, especially the Giant fans.
Don Cockcroft will kick it off. Ed Bell and Mike Battle are deep. And he got all of it. And Ed Bell, deep in the end zone, is told by Mike Battle, put it down. Do not run it out. So the New York Jets will have it 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. 21-7. The Cleveland Browns build their lead back to 14 points. And there's a look at the man who just streaked 94 yards with a kickoff return for the touchdown.
You know, once he was traded away, Keith, to the Browns in that off-season deal, he became maligned. They said he couldn't run anymore.
Joe Namath now, the quarterback. The setbacks are Boozer and Snell behind him, and Joe to throw. Gets his pass away, and he has a man wide open. That is Don Maynard, and Maynard, getting away from one man, is finally dragged down by Ernie Kellerman.
You take a look at one of the few times where the Cleveland Browns do blitz and shoot a linebacker. This puts Maynard man-to-man. He's one of the best in the business in that category. H. Barnes, again, is a fine veteran, but he's a little bit too far off of Maynard. And Namath hit him right between the 1 and the 3 again.
Gain of 20 yards on the play. 1st down. Jets, the ball is at their own 40-yard line. Sauer wide to the left as Namath goes to throw. Throws for Sauer and hits him at the Cleveland 44-yard line. Walt Sumner to make the tackle for the Browns. You know, when we started this ball game, Don Maynard held the all-time professional record for yardage gained on pass receptions, 10,373. He was the only player in history to surpass 10,000 yards on pass receptions, and he has added to it tonight. He has caught 4 passes for 69 yards. It is another 1st down for the New York Jets at the Cleveland 44. Namath will throw. He's throwing for Maynard. He missed him. Too high. Erich Barnes was over there, but Don really never had a chance of getting the ball.
Don Meredith, you know how tough that Cleveland secondary plays it. You've got to give them a lot of credit tonight because twice in the clutch they've intercepted Namath. And that's had its mark on the ball game. Together with the penalties against the Jets at critical moments in the 2nd quarter. Browns have been a heads-up football team all night. Soundly coached, well-directed.
And they always are, Howard.
2nd down and 10. New York's ball at the Cleveland 44. Namath throws, and the pass is complete at the Cleveland 31-yard line to George Sauer. A 13-yard pickup on the play for a 1st down.
You'll notice Lindsey, 51, is out on Sauer. That's just a great job of getting away from a defensive linebacker. A little hook pattern, a little turn-in pattern right behind the linebacker, and it was, again, right on the money.
Namath trying to get a quick one here at the top of the 3rd quarter to offset that 94-yard bolt by Homer Jones with the opening kickoff. That's Matt Snell. Oh, he's tough. He is down to the 24-yard line before he is finally wrestled down.
I think he's one of the most underrated and toughest running backs in football. 2 defensive backs will attest to it. Larry Wilson, St. Louis Cardinals, Richie Vogt, Baltimore Colts, who remembers what happened to him in the Super Bowl game when they had to hospitalize him after Matt rammed into him.
2nd down and 3 yards to go from the Cleveland 24-yard line. New York Jets have the ball. The Browns are leading 21-7 at the top of the 3rd quarter. Snell again. Darlington gets a hold of him and slows him down. Snido helps a little bit. Erich Barnes and Mike Howell coming out of the secondary. Howell from the safety position, Barnes to the cornerback. They mark the ball at the 23-yard line. The Jets have to go to the Cleveland 21 to get their 1st down. Matt Snell is now carried 11 times for 63 yards. Third down and 2 for the Jets. Sauer wide left. Maynard wide right. That's Emerson Boozer. He's got a first down as he literally bolts up the middle and goes to the 17-yard line. Jim Houston, the middle linebacker for Cleveland, made the tackle, but credit the middle of that New York offensive line with making some holes for Mr. Boozer to prance through. Dave Herman, the center, John Schmidt. Randy Rasmussen, the left guard. Winston Hill, number 75, the tackle on the left side. Roger Finney, number 61, is the tackle on the right side. The tight end is Pete Lemons. First down at the 18-yard line for New York. Cleveland's 18. Namath looks at Sauer, hits him at the 13. George is inside. He's down to the 5. Right down at the 5-yard line before Sumner brings him down.
I think Namath caught Sumner a little off of Sauer. He audibled. You'll notice Boozer came back into the backfield. Percentage pass is a pass that should be completed 75, 80% of the time, and that is a short 5-yard out. Those things, a lot of those things turn into long gainers, especially when you throw to guys like Sauer and Maynard.
Lenny Dawson's made a career of that kind of pass. Always has the great percentage of receptions.
First and goal to go. New York Jets at the Cleveland 5. Emerson Boozer, penalty flag, clips into the air as Boozer makes his way to the 3-yard line. That's Jerry Shirk, number 72, and Jack Gregory, number 81, getting up from the bottom of the pile. They're playing on dirt there as part of the baseball infield here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland.
Well, it's really a redundant pattern now in this game. The Jets dominated the second quarter after Cleveland the first, but they were thwarted first by penalties, then by 2 opportunistic interceptions. They were shocked by Homer Jones' kickoff return for a touchdown to start the second half. Now they've moved down and they faced a penalty again.
5 yards illegal motion against the New York Jets. First down and goal to go from the 10 for the Jets. Richard Castor, number 88, is in the ball game for the first time tonight, the big rookie. And up the middle goes Emerson Boozer for the touchdown.
And no penalty flag on the play.
Watch this one again as Boozer really busted.
Take a look at the explosion again. They're on number 72, Jerry Shirk. Boozer just explodes through the hole. Mike Howell's coming over for him. He's going to get a shot at him, number 34. Boozer lowers that head and says, I want in the end zone. 6 points for the Jets.
Jim Turner out of George Sauer's hole from the 10-yard line for the extra point. It's good. You're watching NFL Monday Night Football. With timeout, the score, the Cleveland Browns 21, the New York Jets 14.
Dziecinną twarz. Ty masz tak śliczną, gładziutką personę twarz.
She's a baby face. I have got a smooth persona baby face.
Ależ naprawdę nie ma drugiego, który by wziął twoje
There
miejsce.
is not another can take my place.
Dziecinna twarz.
Baby face.
Moje biedne serduszko tak skacze.
Her poor heart is jumping.
Persona zaczęła naprawdę coś ślicznego.
Persona sure has started something.
Ty masz tak
Baby your face. Get the baby face shave. Only from Persona.
Billy Hardwick, the man who's won more professional tournaments in 1 year than any other bowler in history. Billy puts it this way. You've got to have real desire and dedication about anything you do if you're going to do it right. It's the same with Miller High Life. We've dedicated over 115 years to brewing the best beer there is. Miller makes it right.
Emerson Boozer, who slashed in for the New York touchdown from 10 yards to cap a 10-play, 80-yard march. With 9 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Jets' Jim Turner will kick off to the Cleveland Browns. Reese Morrison, number 26, and Homer Jones, 85. And I don't think Jim's going to want to kick this one to Homer. Not after he ran 94 with the last one. It does not go to Jones. It goes to Morrison at the 7. And he gets a hole on the sideline. But coming across to get a piece of him is Denny Onkotz, the rookie from Penn State. And Onkotz helped bring him down with help from Mike Battle. And a penalty flag is on the field. Let's pause right here, 5 seconds, for local station identification.
This, Keith, was called against number 35, Dennis Onkotz, the rookie from Penn State. Earlier in the game, Onkotz rushed against the Cleveland player and looked like he was about to get into some trouble. You can be sure Eubank will talk with him during the remainder of the week.
The personal foul advances the ball to the New York 47-yard line. That's 127 yards in penalties against the Jets. Leroy Kelly comes up into the slot now. Bo Scott, the lone remaining back behind Bill Nelson. Fair Hooker to the left. Gary Collins to the right. The pass to Hooker. He's missed by Early Thomas. He is finally brought down by Gus Holloman inside the 35. Call it the 34-yard line. That's 13 yards and a first down.
That's one of those little percentage passes that almost went all the way. 5 yards square out by Fair Hooker. Almost turned into a Cleveland Brown touchdown.
Holloman remains in the New York secondary, replacing Jim Hudson. Cleveland first down, New York 34. Bill Nelson, number 16. Penalty flag. Somebody moved too quick in the line of scrimmage. Leroy Kelly moving to the right side is inside. He's down to about the 22-yard line. I think that's going to be a call against the Jets' defensive front four. Steve Tannen made the tackle in the Jets secondary. Let's take a look at the offside by the Jets.
I think it's John Elliott. He gets a little bit jumpy. He's going to come across. He does make contact. You can see the guards getting ready to pull on the Leroy Kelly sweep.
But they'll take the 11-yard run by Kelly instead. It gives Cleveland a first down at the New York 23-yard line. Browns are leading 21-14, 8:20 to play, third quarter. Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. That's Bo Scott up the middle. Elliott, number 80. Anchors him with help from Al Atkins, the middle linebacker. Mark Lomas is number 84. A very warm, muggy night in Cleveland's Municipal Stadium with 85,703 watching, the largest crowd in the Browns' history. It's incredible the way they draw for their football team here in Cleveland. Here's Bill Nelson looking at Fair Hooker over the middle, and Al Atkinson knocks it down and almost had one. On second down and 8, Nelson goes over the middle, and number 62 almost picked it off. Al, who took his time coming back to pro football this year, and there's the boss man of the Jets. 7:42 to play in the third quarter. This was the 14th time the Browns have drawn more than 80,000 people to Municipal Stadium. Ball is on the New York 20-yard line. Third down. 8. Short 8. Nelson loops it for the corner. Fair Hooker's over there, and he can't get it. Number 45, Early Thomas, was covering on the play. But I wonder if Fair Hooker had not turned inside, had continued his pattern to the outside, Don, if he might not have had 6.
I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, the pattern looked as if it were to be thrown over his left shoulder. I don't know whether it was a bad route or a little bit long throw.
Number 15 in the ball game to hold for the field goal try is Mike Phipps, the brilliant rookie from Purdue. Don Cockroft will try the field goal from the 27-yard line. It is up, and it is good. 27-yard field goal. NFL Monday Night Football continues from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. With timeout, the score now. The Cleveland Browns 24 and the New York Jets 14.
The 1971 Torino, the Ford that gives you better ideas for less. Make it better, then price it lower. That's the whole idea behind Torino. Torino's 3-speed automatic transmission can operate manually for extra control. The lean 6-passenger Torino's front power brakes are disc brakes for straighter, fade-resistant stops. And those high-back bucket seats aren't just buckets with separated headrests. Torino's 4-speed transmission comes with a Hurst shifter. Torino gives you big car options its nearest competition doesn't offer. Even a heated rear window defroster. On top of that, Torino is the only middle-sized car with this choice of roof lines, sports roof and hardtop. And its longer wheelbase gives you a smoother ride. The list runs on practically forever, but time doesn't. So see your Ford dealer for the entire Torino story. Torino, the Ford that gives you better ideas for less.
A reminder to young men 8 to 13 years of age that punt, pass, and kick registration closes at your local Ford dealers on September 26th. So hurry and don't be late to sign up. The young man from Alamosa, Colorado will kick off. Number 40 on the left is Mike Battle. Ed Bell, number 7 on the right, the deep men for the New York Jets. 7:34 to play in the third quarter. Koffroff's kick is not too deep. Battle comes up and takes it at the 8-yard line. And he brings it back to the 25. Tom Butler, a rookie from Toledo, makes the tackle for the Cleveland Browns in white. The Browns are leading 24-14.
Putting this thing in perspective now with the Browns 10 points ahead, the Jets are out statisticking them, but the Browns don't make the mistakes the Jets have. That's the way the Browns have won so many times.
It really is, Howard. They rely on the other team making mistakes.
Joe Namath is the quarterback. George Sauer is wide to the left. Namath back to throw. Looks to the left, goes over the middle, intended for Emerson Boozer. Penalty flag down. Boozer was covered by Houston and Mike Howell. And the gesture of Dave Herman indicates to me the unhappiness of that young giant that the penalty again will go against the Jets. That's Jim Houston talking with referee Norm Schachter, who incidentally is a high school principal in Los Angeles, California.
Jets have now been penalized 142 yards, the Browns only 59. This is what you call making mistakes.
And that major penalty of 15 yards moves the ball back to the New York 10-yard line, where it will be first down and 25. Rasmussen and Herman are the guards, Schmidt the center, Penny and Hill are the tackles. The tight end is Pete Lemons for New York. Namath will throw from the goal line. He gets it away deep, intended for Sauer, and Sumner, chasing it, cannot quite reach. Mike Howell also back there, defending on the long bomb, and that pass was thrown right from the goal line. Another penalty flag down, incidentally, back in the vicinity of where the pass was thrown. Namath threw the ball from the goal line, 55 yards in the air. This time, the penalty is against Cleveland.
I think it's a roughing the passer penalty. I believe Gregory was a little overzealous on that last play and took a pretty good shot at our friend from Beaver Falls.
Yeah, that's a break for them. They have a first down, but the plain fact is it was an unwise throw by Namath. Sauer wasn't down there, and Namath threw where there were two Cleveland Browns.
And it's first down. 10 yards to go for the Jets, back where they were a few moments ago at their own 25. With 6:45 to play. 6:49 to play in the third quarter. That's Matt Snell. And Walt Sumner, number 29, who has had a fine ball game in the defensive secondary for Cleveland, making the tackle. It's another first down for the New York Jets as the ball goes just outside the 40, a pickup of 15 yards.
That's just a quick hitting, what they call a zone block. That's with Winston Hill blocking on Gregory, and the lead back, that last play was Boozer, blocking out on Lindsey, and Snell just split the seams right between them, picked up a nice gain.
That's now picked up 7 to 9 yards and a dozen carries. they get a new football here, as John Schmidt did not like the feel of the one he had. 24-14. Browns lead. Namath throws a quick one to Sauer. And George is hit right at the 45-yard line by Walt Sumner.
Well played by Sumner. He caught it, read it instantly, was right in there on Sauer.
Gain of 5 yards, 2nd down and 5. 5 minutes and 45 seconds now to play in the third quarter. Next Monday night, Kansas City at Baltimore. Two teams right here battling it out tonight who should really figure in the total picture of the American Football Conference this year. Emerson Boozer. E. Rich Barnes grabs him. The first man to get him. And then he gets a little help from John Carlington. Big number 72, Jerry Shirk. He may be a rookie, but he's getting a full taste. 24-14 the score. The Cleveland Browns jumped into the lead, 14-0 first quarter. The Jets got their first touchdown in the second quarter to make it 14-7. At halftime, Homer Jones bolted 94 yards with a second-half kickoff to make it 21-7. The Jets came right back, 21-14, and then a 27-yard field goal by Don Cockcroft makes it 24-14. The Jets now trying to move it again. And a straight power play over the left side for the first down on 3rd and 1. The ball is given to Matt Snell, and he just muscled his way in for the first down. The Jets now have a total of 22-14 for Cleveland.
That Jerry Shirk is getting some kind of lesson, Don.
He really is. I think Lindsey got one on that last play.
Time remaining, you saw. Matt Snell on first down and 10 from the 46-yard line. He is down to about the 41-yard line for a pickup of 5 yards, and he ran behind Winston Hill.
Second down, 5.
3:45 to go in the third quarter. The Browns are leading by 10. The Jets trying to close it up. That's Snell. Walter Johnson's got him. Right about the line of scrimmage. Matt will probably get about 1 yard.
Third down, 4.
It'll be third down and a long 4 yards for New York. Ball is just short of the Cleveland 40. Historian Joe Namath's work so far in the game. He looks for Lammons. He throws to Boozer. Boozer is cut down by Sumner with help from Lindsey at the Cleveland 32-yard line. That's a New York first down.
Big play for the Jets. They needed that first down very badly. They've got to at least get a three-pointer. They need 7.
On the Browns 32-yard line.
Lots of time, Don. They're controlling the football. That means Cleveland can score.
Good point.
2 minutes remaining.
Emerson Boozer, you just saw, leave the field. George Knock, number 37, has come into the ball game, along with Lee White, number 34. So we have 2 new setbacks in the lineup for the Jets. Snell and Boozer out. Namath will throw. Goes for the corner for Maynard, and it is nowhere near it.
Namath pass intended for Maynard. Incomplete.
Just an observation, Keith. I know that I don't think Maynard is running as well as he can tonight. He's missed most of the preseason games, and with a calf muscle injury, and he just doesn't seem to be the old Swift Maynard.
And Richard Castor has just come into the game.
Exactly so.
He's the big rookie from Jackson State, 6'5", 222 pounds, 21 years old, and when he gets his hands on the football, you better look quick. There's Matt Snell getting some refreshment. It's a very hot, muggy night. Temperature game time was 79 degrees. Second down 10, New York at the Cleveland 32. Namath. Down he goes. And you don't see that very often. It was Gregory who got him.
But that's the opportunism of this finely drilled Cleveland team. When the play most matters defensively, they have the capacity to make it.
Let's take a look at how he does this. You'll notice that's Herman coming out to pick him up. He gave him an outside move and just came inside. That's Katie bar the door. Joe actually made a good move with his knees as weak as they are. There was really no way for him to get away from him, so he protected his knees and went down for the count.
The loss is all the way back to the outside, the 42, make it the 43-yard line. It is third down. They have to go to the Cleveland 22 to get the first down. So it's 3rd and 21 for the Jets. Namath retreating. They almost get him again. He throws the pass for a knock. It is incomplete, and the more than 85,000 partisan fans really roaring.
Well, the fans are getting an understandable kick out of seeing Namath get it. But he's used to it. He can tell you about a fella named Big Ben Davidson from Oakland who broke his jaw.
But again, testimony to the kind of an athlete that Joe Namath is. He accepts the punishment and goes about his job. Here is Jim Turner now out of George Sauer's hold, and we're going to call it 50 yards. It'll be a fraction inside the 50-yard line. He has kicked one 50-yarder. Going to be close. No good. The Browns hold. 1 minute and 5 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Cleveland Browns leading the New York Jets 24-14. This Saturday, next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports at 2:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific Time, live via satellite from San Juan, Puerto Rico, the World Lightweight Boxing Championship. British Empire champion Ken Buchanan of Scotland against the world champion Ismael Laguna of Panama. 15 rounds, Saturday, ABC's Wide World of Sports via satellite from San Juan, Puerto Rico. All right, here go the Browns. First down from their own 20. Scott and Kelly, the setbacks. Nelson wants to throw it. He's looking upfield for Collins. He goes over the middle for the tight end, Milt Morin. Had it in his hands, but Butterfinger couldn't hang on, and Holloman knocked him loose.
It's complete. Second down.
Now we have 59 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Browns lead by 10, 24-14 over the Jets. The story of Bill Nelson so far. 9 of 20. Number 62 is Joe Toffoni, the offensive right tackle for the Browns. Bear Hooker of Arizona State, second-year man, out to the left side, in the slot. The handoff goes to Leroy Kelly, and not much, maybe a yard, as Al Atkinson, number 62, is right there, along with Verlin Biggs, or is it Steve Thompson? It's Thompson, number 85.
Ball on the 21, third down, 9.
Be sure to watch How Awful About Alan, a chilling tale of suspense on the premiere of Movie of the Week tomorrow night on ABC. That's a good one. Offensive plays so far in the third quarter. New York with 18, the Browns with 7. But the scoring does not reflect that. Nelson back to throw on third down and 9 from the 21. Fires. Penalty flag down. He hits Milt Morin. But a penalty flag was thrown into the backfield as Holloman made the tackle for the Jets. They'll bring it back. Verlin Biggs in the backfield, and we may very well have a little too much roughness on the Cleveland quarterback, Bill Nelson.
Holding. Called against the Browns.
I think it's actually a holding penalty. You'll see number 35, Scott, when he's going out of the screen. Actually, they grabbed him by the leg. Number 85, there's the holding penalty rather than roughing the passing. Actually, he did get a pretty good lick.
Yes, he did. There's Blanton Collier, the coach of the Cleveland Browns. The ball is back now at the 7-yard line. 3rd down. And 27 as Nelson goes to the air. Hits Leroy Kelly. The ball is loose. Baker had his hands on it and couldn't hold it for the Jets.
It's an incomplete pass.
It slid right out of Kelly into Baker's hands, and Ralph couldn't hang on. So it'll be a kicking down coming up for the Cleveland Browns. And now here, I think, is something that worries a lot of people with the Cleveland organization, from President Art Modell right on down, and particularly Blanton Collier. He has a fine punter in Don Cockcroft, but he is not too long. Cockcroft will punt from in his end zone. Now, the question is field position right here. 4 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Let's see where the Jets get the ball. Back at the 40 to Ed Bell. He is swarmed on at the New York 48-yard line, but it's still good field position for the New York Jets. And we have come to the end of the 3rd quarter here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, and our scoreboard reads the Cleveland Browns 24, the New York Jets 14.
Burt Reynolds stars as Detective Dan August starting Wednesday night.
Cleveland Browns 24, the New York Jets 14, as we get ready to begin the final quarter. And Weave Eubank talking to his coach upstairs to determine what shall we do. And number 18 standing alongside of him is Al Woodall, the backup quarterback for Joe Namath, young man from Duke. And here come the Jets. Let's call it the 49-yard line. The ball just the nose of it touching the 49. They're 51 yards away from the Cleveland goal line. Richard Kester is in at wide receiver on the right side. Instead, the play goes to Matt Snell. And look at the big man Rambo down to the 32-yard line for the New York first down.
Let's take another quick look at this. You see Snell come back in behind Namath. I'm not saying it was an audible, but it possibly was. A false step to the right and a beautiful hole. I think Snell's a little upset that he didn't score on that one.
First down and 10 for the Jets on the Cleveland 32. Emerson Boozer over the left side. He's got about 5.
They're piling up statistics, if not points. Snell has gone 89 yards in 16 attempts.
Four yards on the carry by Emerson Boozer. Make it second down and 6. The ball is at the 28. Namath gives it to George Knock, who had come into the ball game. Lee White and Knock coming in at the setback positions for the New York Jets. Or is it Boozer stayed in? Boozer stayed in, and Lee White came in to replace Matt Snell. Walter Johnson, number 71, gets credit for the last tackle. The ball, nose of the ball touching the 25-yard line. Make it 3rd down and 3. They've got to go just about the 22 to get the first down. That's Boozer. He's close to the first down. Bill Andrews, number 52, a 4-year man from southeastern Louisiana, in at a linebacker position right now for Cleveland, making his first appearance of the ball game in a defensive posture, and they're going to measure for the first down. Just enough. That's first down number 25 for the New York Jets against 14 for Cleveland. The Browns are leading, however, by 10, 24-14. Clock running, 12:50 to play in the game. Kester, big rookie, wide right. That's Knock, number 37, now in, replacing Boozer at the setback position. He's inside the 20, make it the 18.
Possibly he saw the strong safety come on that last play. And by come, I mean the strong safety blitz.
Here's Emerson Boozer on the bench. Looks like he might have a cramp the way they're rubbing on it. Of course, a hot, sultry night like this, that's not terribly uncommon to get a cramp. Second down. Make it 7 yards to go. Go to Lee White. And he cannot get around the corner as Andrews, number 52, is over there to make the play for Cleveland.
I think we have a Cleveland Brown injured on that play, too. Will cost him a timeout.
NFL Monday Night Football from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. We have a timeout. We'll continue in a moment with the score. The Cleveland Browns 24, the New York Jets 14.
Last year, Zenith brought you Chromacolor, the color TV picture that outperformed every giant screen color TV before Chromacolor. Now, Zenith brings you Compact Chromacolor, a big 19-inch picture in a compact cabinet.
I've got just the place for it.
New Compact Chromacolor. Chromacolor. Only Zenith has it.
The man who uses this glove is a pro. He's Brooks Robinson of the Baltimore Orioles, a pro who's played third base in every All-Star game since 1960. Ask this pro who he sees about home, car, and business insurance, and he'd tell you...
See the pro I see about insurance, an independent agent.
See the pro where you find this big I symbol. He's a member of the National Association of Insurance Agents.
Massive crowd of more than 85,000, and there's been something of a ruckus outside as about 500 people really storming. They want to get in to see the ball game, but there's no room for them, and they've had quite a scuffle outside. Certainly impressive to Commissioner Pete Rozelle, who is here tonight as the guest of the Browns owner Art Modell. Here are the New York Jets now, third down at 7. The ball is at the Cleveland 19-yard line, and Joe Namath back to throw. He whips it, intended for Don Maynard. E. Rich Barnes all over him, and I think maybe E. Rich gets called here for interference.
That's exactly what it is, and I think it's a good call. You'll see Maynard come down trying to get back to the inside. He made an outside move. Erich reaches back, just grabs on there a little bit, Interference is when the defensive back in any way gets in the way of the offensive receiver to stop the ball. Now, that didn't sound real right. I'm going to try that again later on, folks. You're not supposed to do it. I know that.
First down and goal to go. New York at the Cleveland 7-yard line. Snell inside fumbles.
Cleveland's ball. Once again, the key mistake. Listen to this. In total offense, New York has gained 330 yards, Cleveland 158. New York has beset itself with 2 interceptions, with that critical exchange on a fumble, with countless penalties. They've got nobody to blame but themselves for the fact that they're trailing 24-14 despite displaying a continuing offensive power that the Browns have not been able to match.
And Howard, it was Jack Gregory, the big defensive end, 250-pounder, 4-year veteran from Delta State, who recovered the football. So Bill Nelson will put it in play, first down and 10 from his own 7-yard line. Leroy Kelly. Oh, he really got popped by Baker, number 51, coming across the top. And John Elliott, number 80, on the bottom.
Now the clock is ever running. It's 11 minutes and 7 seconds, 6, and so on down. The Jets must get possession quickly if we're to have a tight ball game down to the final wire. There is plenty of time if they can contain Cleveland now.
65 is John Damari. 66 is Hickerson. The guards, the tackles are Shafrath and Toffoni. The tight end is Milt Morin. Nelson will throw it. He fires. Is it good? Yes, it is caught. Up at the 20-yard line, and that will be a first down. The man who made the catch is flat on his back. We'll take a second look at it.
Here's a couple of good hard licks. Gary Collins took a heck of a lick in the back of his head, and he's down and out. I think Steve Tanner was also hurt on that last play. Collins has been and is their clutch receiver, and that might show you a reason why. He catches the ball with a lot of folks around him.
He is a smart receiver. He doesn't have the speed that he had in '64 when he was the most valuable player in the title game won by the Cleveland Browns. But there's nobody smarter at running his patterns.
Let's take another look at it. So that was an awfully tough lick right there. He got both of them. Gary, you may have noticed in his approach route, is when he left the line of scrimmage, he began to weave a little bit, weaving by going inside and outside. And this is a very deceptive move for a defensive back to recognize, because from this position and with that type of route, he can go to the inside or to the outside. He has an excellent route that he runs off of that down and in move where he'll plant his foot and come back to the outside. Well, both those fellas are all right.
They seem to be, Don. Don, you saw Cannon just give Collins a slight bump at the line of scrimmage on that one. And as a rookie, he's got to learn if he's going to bump, he's got to bump, because you can't play it that way and let the potential receiver get by you that quickly. There's been a lot of talk lately about the bump and run. That allows a defensive back, as long as he's in front of the potential receiver or co-equal with him, to bump him, push him, or whatever, until he either turns his back to that line of scrimmage or until the quarterback releases the football.
First down, Cleveland Browns ball at their own 21-yard line. Homer Jones in replacing Gary Collins, and we have some encroachment along the line of scrimmage. Following the news tonight, we invite you to join the Dick Cavett Show with his special guests, John Cassavetes, Peter Falk, and Ben Gazzara. Dick Cavett Show, following the news tonight on ABC. So the encroachment call against the New York Jets moves the ball to the 25-yard line.
Notice, too, if you will, Dandy Don, as they still capitalize on Brown's opportunities, how Nelson got the ball out of trouble when he had to.
I think that was one of his biggest first downs he'll have all night, was the one he threw to Gary Collins.
They get the 26-yard line, just outside the 25. First down and 5 to go, and they give it in the middle. And they give it to the money man, Leroy Kelly. The green shirts stack him up. Incidentally, that's a total of 250 yards in this ball game in total penalties for both teams. The Jets with 148 of it. The Browns need 1 yard for the first down. They've got to go to the 31. It's second down and 1. And the offensive interior line remains the same. Damari and Hickerson, the guards. And Kelly sliding in behind Dick Sheffrath, big number 77, wedging for the first down, and I do believe he has it. 9.5 minutes to go in the game. It is the Cleveland first down.
He's got it, but Leroy Kelly has, in 17 carries, gone for only a grand total of 40 yards. He has not been a compelling figure tonight.
The Browns are leading by 10, 24-14. The clock running, 9 minutes to go. Nelson still has it. For Milt Morin, W.K. Hicks and Al Atkinson there to spoil it. The pass is incomplete. So it'll be second down and 10 for the Browns from their 32. That electrifying 94-yard streak by Homer Jones with a kickoff to start the second half looms very big in this ball game. Nelson still has it. Penalty flag down. Swings it out to Bo Scott. Scott has very little room to go. The man who really made the play possible defensively for the New York Jets is number 60, Larry Grantham. The loss is back around the 26-yard line. Bo Scott getting up very slowly and limping and will come off the field. And Steve Engel, a rookie from Colorado, will go in to replace him. And you see the illegal procedure indication against Cleveland refused by the Jets, and Bo Scott goes to the bench. It'll be third down and 14 yards to go for the Cleveland Browns. The ball is now back at their own 27. Eight minutes and 44 seconds to play in the game. Bill Nelson gets his pass away to Morin. He's got it. Holloman and Hicks make the tackle, but it's a first down for the Cleveland Browns. A big play.
Yes, a big play and a field night for Walt Morin. We told you at the very top of the game that one of the key matchups would be Morin against the tight or strong safety, whether that be Jim Hudson, who unfortunately had to go out. His knee's just not right, coming off knee surgery, or Gus Holloman, his replacement. And Morin has been a dominant factor when most it counted in this contest.
The gain, 22 yards. Morin has caught 5 passes for 89 yards in the game, which further makes the point which Howard just drew for you. Ball is on the 49. First down, Leroy Kelly. Oh, look out. He is down to the New York 37-yard line, maybe the 36, before Steve Thompson finally ran him down.
That's the way to break it for Kelly. I remember when they used to do that with Jimmy Brown again and again and again. Remember, Don?
I certainly do, and this is what Weeb Eubank said. You may stop Kelly 15 times in a row, except one time he might break. I think the Browns are doing two things here. They're making a great drive, but they're also chewing up a lot of that clock.
And we should also note that Bo Scott has returned to the offensive backfield, and he is a fine blocker. Homer Jones is the wide receiver to the left side. Berlin Biggs may have jumped too quick. The ball goes to Bo Scott. Look out! Scott is down to the 20-yard line, inside the 20 to the 19. That penalty flag may have been thrown against the Jets. Early Thomas finally wrestling Big Bo Scott down, and Scott really grew up in his football career in Canada.
Let's take a look at this. Actually, when Biggs jumped offside, you could see a slight hesitation on the Jet defense. Cleveland continued with their play. And there was a fine hold there. That's a good move there by Bo Scott. He tried to move to the outside to get around Early Thomas. Couldn't quite make it. Another big first down for Cleveland.
The ball is right at the New York 19-yard line. 6 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the game. The Browns trying to put it away. That's Leroy Kelly at the 15. John Elliott, number 80. Verlin Biggs, 86, and Early Thomas, 45. And there's Blanton Collier. Kelly now 19 carries, 59 yards. The Browns were 10-3-1 in the regular season last year. You see the time ticking away. The New York Jets were 10-4 in their respective conferences. This year they are in the same conference. The Browns in the Central Division of the American Football Conference, the New York Jets in the Eastern Division. Second down, 6. Penalty flags flying all over the place as Bo Scott is decked back around the 20-yard line. Ralph Baker, number 51. Verlin Biggs, number 86. So we have really seen those penalty flags flying around tonight, and nobody is leaving. This big crowd of 85,000 all just sitting here watching it. Penalties against Cleveland. Illegal procedure declined by the Jets. 6 minutes, 3 seconds to play in the game. Next Monday night on ABC from Baltimore, Maryland, the Baltimore Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. And you very likely are going to see Johnny Unitas pass the 20-mile mark in passing yardage gained in his brilliant football career. On third down, Bill Nelson to throw. He looks for fair hooker, and a penalty flag is down, and there's an interference call against Steve Tannen. He got his feet tangled up with Hooker down at the 7-yard line. I think it'll be very clear to you what happened here.
More important, you just can't do things like this and expect to win any ball game. You see fair hooker is trying to run a corner route. There's your bump and run. He did have his hands on him. As the ball was in the air, it looked as if he maybe stepped on his foot. But that's still too much interference. I'm not going to try to get that interference call again this time, but that was an interference call.
John Little, another rookie from Oklahoma State, now in the defensive lineup for the New York Jets, number 57. The ball is at the 7-yard line. First and goal to go for Cleveland. That's Bo Scott. And Little, who had just come into the game, makes the big play. Back outside the 10. The loss is back to the 11.
You'll see him. The Browns take off on another sweep. Little does make a fine move as he eludes his blocker, penetrates into the backfield. Seems as if Cleveland lost a guard somewhere along the way that possibly was supposed to block Mr. Little.
But he's fresh and on a hot night. That could mean quite a bit at this juncture. 5:52 remaining in the game. Second down and goal to go from the 11. Cleveland's ball, New York 11. Nelson to throw. He loops it for Morin. It's too long. Double coverage that time on Milt by Holloman and Hicks.
Nelson's pass intended for Morin, incomplete.
Now you can say Eubank looks troubled, Keith.
Yeah, at this point. Well, remember the old adage set forth many years ago by Wallace Wade at Duke University, and he says, nobody ever really wins a football game. Somebody loses it.
I think that's true in every form of sport.
Third down and goal to go for the Cleveland Browns at the New York 11-yard line. 24-14, the Browns lead by 10. Nelson to throw. Whips it over the middle. It's incomplete. And again, he looked to the right side, but elected to come back to his tight end, Milt Morin, number 89. Nelson now 12 for 27 in his passing for 145 yards.
But he did his job, and he did it beautifully. He took over after the Snell fumble on their own 7-yard line and led the Browns all the way downfield, chewing up approximately 7 minutes in the process with 5:44 to go, the field goal attempt.
On 4th and goal, Don Cockcroft will kick out of Mike Phipps' hole from the 18-yard line. It looks good, but it is no good. It slid off to the right side, just missed. So, Don Cockcroft, who had kicked a field goal earlier, misses on what may have been a critical point here. As you watch NFL Monday Night Football on ABC, timeout the score. The Cleveland Browns 24, the New York Jets 14.
Wow.
Here's to you, Margie. How long has it been? 14 years. I still love you.
It's nice to have a buck.
Lance's Imported Rosé. For the good life.
Take life easy. Slow down, America.
The twilight hours, when good friends laugh and dance and share their wine. Italian Swiss Colony Chianti, for food, friends, and friendly times. Pass it around and...
Take life easy with Italian Swiss Colony wine.
The New York Jets huddling at their 10-yard line. They have the ball. First down and 10. At their own 20-yard line, they are down by 10 points. Don Cockcroft was 7 out of 8 in his field goals in 1969 between the 20 and 30-yard line, but he just missed a big opportunity from the 18, and the Jets have it as Joe Namath goes back to throw. He whips it up the middle. The pass is caught by Emerson Boozer. Boozer is knocked down by Jim Houston. The ball is on the 34-yard line, a 14-yard pickup and a first down.
Richard Castor is in now, and they double-teamed him. Number 88 from Jackson State, the touted Jets rookie. You can look for Namath as quickly as possible. If Castor gets any movement at all, to go to him deep. With his speed, that's the only way for the Jets to get back in the ballgame.
Lemons is the tight end, and George Sauer is wide to the left side with Castor set on the right. Namath looks at Castor. He goes for Castor, and he's got him at the Cleveland 48-yard line. Kellerman on the tackle. Another New York first down.
First down 10. The Jets and the Browns.
Hope we can see here what is a very fine move by Castor. You'll see Erich Barnes try to knock him off his route and then come back off to cover the back out of the backfield. He gets Kellerman head up and runs a V-out pattern, and the ball again is right on target. An excellent move by Castor and a perfectly thrown ball.
First and 10, New York, Cleveland 48-yard line. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the game. Namath's pass is away, and it is complete to Sauer, and George is down at the Cleveland 34. Freddie Summers, number 20, on the play.
I really like the way Sauer goes back, or he goes after a football. This ball is a little bit low. You can see George on the right side of your screen running a fake to the outside. The ball is a little bit low. He comes back in. Those hands are low and scoops it up. A fine reception, another New York Jet first down, and the old Jets have got things rolling. You never can tell what might happen.
Namath is now 17 out of 28 for 252 yards passing tonight. They'll change the football again. We have 3 minutes and 43 seconds to play in the ball game. Castor is number 88. A 19-yard pickup on that pass play from Namath. Joe to throw. He's going deep into the corner for Sauer. He's got it.
There you go, there you go, there you go. Never can tell what happened.
34 yards. Joe Namath to George Sauer for the touchdown.
You're going to catch the Browns doing something they do very seldom, and that's blitz. They've got more than 4 guys coming back after Namath. Sauer runs a super route, fake to the outside. It just caught him off guard. A great route, a great throw. 6 points for the Jets. We're close to having another brand new ball game.
The man who got beat on that play is Freddie Summers, number 20, a 2-year man from Wake Forest.
The key point is you can't blitz the Jets and Namath. You just can't do it.
Jim Turner in for the extra point. It is good. 3 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the ball game. You're watching NFL Monday Night Football on ABC. Timeout, the score now. Cleveland 24, New York 21.
This is Marlboro country. Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro country.
Reese Morrison, Homer Jones.
The New York Jets march 80 yards in 4 plays, capped by the pass, Namath to Sauer. The time remaining, you see. 24-21. Jim Turner has teed it up. Reese Morrison and Homer Jones are deep, and Turner hits it deep. It'll be Homer Jones at the goal, 1 yard deep in the end zone. And coming across to knock him out of bounds, number 65, Jimmy Jones for the New York Jets.
Homer Jones taking the kickoff.
He brought it back to the 22-yard line where Cleveland will have it. 1st and 10.
For the Browns on the Cleveland 21-yard line.
Had a head-on collision with the Jones boys over here on the sideline. Old Jimmy lost his helmet. Homer is a big, strong East Texas boy.
It's going to be interesting, though, Don. There is still time, and Nelson's got some hard decisions to make. Does he put that ball in the air? Does he try and kill off the time on the ground? The Jets still have all their timeouts remaining.
He needs the first down badly.
1st and 10, Cleveland. They're on 22. That's Bo Scott up the middle. Al Atkinson from the middle linebacker position, the man who got him.
Scott, the ball carrier, hit by Atkinson.
He got 1 yard.
Ball on the 22, 2nd down, 9.
Jets will save their timeouts, and remember, there'll be the timeout at the 2-minute warning signal. 2:49 left to go as the clock runs.
2nd down and 9, Cleveland. Scott and Kelly are the setbacks. They go to Kelly. The Jets were looking for him. They get him up around the 24-yard line.
Kelly, the ball carrier.
Now the decision.
Baker.
All right, Don, you're back there. You're wearing number 17.
Yeah.
Whom do you throw to, or do you throw?
Yeah, 17. Well, I tell you what I'd do. I think I'd try to work more.
Timeout, Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder.
And the New York Jets take the timeout.
Next big home game against
Unfortunately, I always do the Cleveland players anyway.
October 3rd.
The Jets have 2 timeouts remaining. The Cleveland Browns have 1. And remember, next Saturday on ABC television, A big one in college football as the Penn State Nittany Lions put their 32 consecutive game victory streak on the line against the big Colorado Buffaloes at Boulder, Colorado. It starts at 4 Eastern Daylight Time next Saturday afternoon on ABC. That's Mike Battle, Ed Bell. Everybody up on that New York bench. Most everybody up on the Cleveland side. As the Browns lead 24-21. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the football game. Monday night football, NFL football on ABC. The ball is at the 24. Third down and a long 7 for Cleveland. Big play. Nelson will throw. Can't find anybody. Puts his head down, and he makes it out to the 27-yard line. Dick Sheffrath, number 77, tried to come across and help him. But Larry Grantham and Al Atkinson, the linebackers for the Jets, recovered quickly and made the tackle. So Cleveland will have to kick it away.
With 1 minute and 58 seconds to go. Timeout because of the 2-minute warning mark. Still time. Not to build this thing up falsely, but in plain point of fact, judging by the way Namath led his team downfield on the last sequence.
Remember to watch tomorrow night when veteran actor Robert Young returns for the start of a new season as Marcus Welby, M.D. Tomorrow night on ABC, and there's the time remaining. The New York Jets started Early Thomas at quarterback tonight. He's just one of 40 rookies who have won starting jobs on American Football Conference and National Football Conference teams this year. At the final countdown last week, there, as we told you at the outset tonight, 181 rookies on the NFL rosters. Among the 40 starters, 9 were first-round draft choices, and 6 were chosen in the second round. You're looking at veteran John Elliott right there from Texas. But many late-round picks made it, too, like Early Thomas, who was the Jets' pick in the 11th round. Here is the punt now by Don Cockroft. He kicks it toward Mike Battle. He comes up. The ball bounces by him. He indicated fair catch. He thought the ball would go out of bounds, and how about that?
I don't think the New York Jets will ever forget this game. Here, if you will, these statistics, unofficially. The Jets, let's look at the play again. An incredible break for the Browns. Battle running as if he were back at the University of Southern California, ill-advisedly.
The ball is on the 4-yard line. And the Jets cannot move it.
To amplify what I was saying a moment ago, Keith, unofficially, the Jets have gained 545 yards in this game, total, to 219 for the Cleveland Browns. Yet, with the clock running out, 1 minute and 20 to go, 1 minute 19, 1 minute 18, you see it, they are trailing 24-21. They lost this game themselves, if they've lost it.
It is second down and 12. New York's ball at their 3-yard line. Kester is wide to the right. Sauer wide to the left. Namath deep in the end zone to throw. He throws. It is batted down, incomplete. And the man who did it is big number 81, Gregory. I am sure, almost sure it was Gregory who got his hands on it. Shirk was there too. An incredible break on the bounce of the punt that wound up 65 yards. Let's watch that.
We'll take a look at it. Namath goes back to set. Of course, the Cleveland defense is very deep. It's a great move by Gregory.
Third down and 12, New York, from their own 3-yard line. 53 seconds to play in the ball game. Is there lightning in Joe Willie's arm? Let's see. As he goes for Sauer to the sidelines, both feet are in. The pass is complete. Sumner was right there, but he literally, I think, gave him the pass.
That stopped the clock. That's something else they need to do. Let's take a look at what is recognized as one of the very best pattern runners in football. He runs one of the best routes in football. Watch his feet stay inbound, and that takes a lot of time and a lot of work. And this is something that George Sauer doesn't mind either one of them. He puts a lot of time in the game because he loves it.
First down, New York at their own 18-yard line. 47 seconds to play. The Browns lead 24-21. Before more than 85,000 people. Snido almost gets Namath. The pass is intercepted. It is intercepted by number 52, Billy Andrews. Touchdown, and no penalty flags on the field.
You can't.
There's a depressed Joe Namath.
That was a great shot. It was like one taken by a great sports photographer as Namath walked off the field after the final loss to Kansas City last year, a shot entitled Namath Walks Alone. We could call that one Namath Stands Alone. You can't fault Namath for that interception. He had nowhere left to go. Time almost run out. Just the final blow in a game in which the Browns have been the greatest opportunists you could ever want to see.
And a very happy Bill Andrews as Don Cockcroft comes in and nails the extra point. And so with 35 seconds to go in the game, the Browns rebuild their lead to 10 points over the New York Jets. I tell you, while we're waiting for the kickoff, our executive producer, Rune Arledge. Tonight's telecast produced and directed by Chet Forty, our co-producers Jim Feeney and Dennis Lewin, co-director Lou Volpicelli, Associate Director Lou Frederick, our technical directors Bill Morris and Ralph Drucker, the engineering supervisor Roy Robbins, the unit manager Lester Lasuk, and the assistant to the producers Bill Yerrick. And certainly I'd like to give some notice to our fine statistician Arthur Friedman and our spotter Dave Sterrett, and our appreciation to Art Modell and all of his people here, Cleveland Browns, for their hospitality during our stay in Cleveland. And remember, next Monday night, it'll be Kansas City in Baltimore. Lenny Dawson and Johnny Unitas squaring off. Here's the kick. It goes to Mike Battle in the end zone. He drops it. He will not return it.
Billy Andrews was in the lobby of the hotel where we're staying today. The Browns have been staying there, along with Dale Lindsay, a regular linebacker. And Dale and I were kidding Billy about the possibility that he'd see no action. He sure did see action, and at a most critical moment, in a most telling way.
He'll probably walk all the way to the hotel just to remind you.
It's not that far, Keith.
It is New York's ball. First down and 10 at their own 20, with 35 seconds to play in the game. Cleveland leads 31-21. Al Woodall in at quarterback. He is trapped, and he is dropped, and it's Jerry Shirk, number 72, the big rookie from Oklahoma State, who has gone all the way on defense tonight. He may have learned quite a bit.
When you look back at a punt that hit right, well, very close to going out of bounds and then takes a Cleveland bounce another 20 or 30 yards, you wonder what would happen if it had been the other way.
Here's that big rookie from Oklahoma State. Number 80 in the defensive lineup now for Cleveland is Joe Jones, and he's going to play a lot of football for Glenn McCarthy and the Browns. Al Woodall from the 17-yard line, and it is almost intercepted by Walt Sumner. So the Browns ball hawking with 4 seconds to play in the game.
I imagine the people in Baltimore are very happy. Don Klosterman, the general manager, and the coach, and Carol Rosenblum.
Third down and 17. from the 13 as Woodall goes to throw, and he throws. The pass is caught. But it matters little as Wayne Stewart fell to the ground and the gun cracked to end the game. And the final score, the Cleveland Browns 31, the New York Jets 21. We'll be back in a moment here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio.
These are the men of the National Football League, and they're in a tough business. When their day's done, they want a lot of attention without asking for it, and a little understanding. That's where the businessmen of the NFL fly United Airlines. In fact, 23 of the 26 NFL teams choose United. You can bet we can take good care of you.
Take a look at that moon, will you? Hanging over Municipal Stadium. Well, there's no way Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin saw that tonight. But it was 31-21 in what we think was an exciting ball game in favor of the Cleveland Browns. The New York Jets were the winners statistically. But the Cleveland Browns presented themselves the way they have so many times in the history of Don Meredith, as an opportunistic football team, making the big play when most they had to make it. Actually, in terms of offensive plays, the Jets had 70, the Browns 57. First downs, the Jets had 31, the Browns had 20. Yards total on offense, our earlier figure, unofficial, was wrong. The Jets 450. The Browns 219. How did the Browns do it? Their first two times around, when they had the ball in the first quarter, Nelson drove them to touchdowns. The Jets scored in the second quarter. That made it 14-7. And then Homer Jones really broke it open at the start of the second half with a 96-yard touchdown sprint. The Browns were never behind. They finally won 31-1 with a final score on an interception by Billy Andrews. 31-21, the Cleveland Browns over the New York Jets will return to Municipal Stadium right after this message.
One Schick Superchromium, the blade that fights corrosion, just shaved these 17 barbers. Mr. Politi, did you shave this morning with a Schick Superchromium?
Yes, I did. I was number 12, and I had a very nice shave.
What number were you, Mr. Rose?
I was number 13, and it was clean and smooth.
Mr. Vinegar, you shaved with the same Schick Superchromium blade?
Yes, I was the 15th one to shave, and it was surprisingly smooth.
Good. I see barber number 17 is just finishing his shave. Let's talk to him. You were number 17, Mr.
Estrin.
How was the shave?
Well, I never would have believed it. It was a nice, close, comfortable shave.
Here's a small section of the Schick Superchromium edge that delivered 17 shaves. Let's compare it to a new edge. See that? It's almost like new. Could the blade in your razor deliver 17 comfortable shaves? Schick Chronochrome, the superchromium blade that fights corrosion. You've got to feel it to believe it.
The story of the game right there for the New York Jets. In a depressed Joe Namath with that final interception. The final score, the Cleveland Browns 31 and the New York Jets 21. Next Monday night, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Colts from Baltimore. And now this is Keith Jackson along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith saying so long from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Travel arrangements and promotional considerations for tonight's game furnished by United, the airline that flies 23 of the 26 NFL teams.
John Cassavetes, Peter Falk, and Ben